It's clobberin' time! Clobberanimo!
Get those nerds! 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 Yeah. Oh my goodness. Welcome, clobberers and clobberettes and clobberanimos and clobberooskies and clobberoids and everybody else. Welcome to Clobberin' Times. Issue number 530 on YouTube and 1,002,230,000 gazillion 33 something or other on forever, because I've been doing this since the beginning. God. Ooh, I messed up your Wii. I'm sorry.
Clobberanimo!
I love that. I can't tell how much I love when you say that. No, it's just wonderful. Good to see you, my dear friends, though. I'm so glad you're here tonight. We're going to have so much fun. That's what it's all about at the Clubhouse, Clubby's Clubhouse. Clubby's Clubhouse number 72, incidentally. So another number for you there. It's because you just can't have too many numbers, can you?
Nope.
It's just number.
Everyone.
All right, everybody. Well, yes, indeed. And Mark said hello, and Raquel said we. So
her we is much better. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Great to see you all, my friends. Let's see. We got all kind of stuff lined up for you tonight. I don't know where to begin, so I'll simply will begin by announcing the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, the greatest commander of all time, and just the bestest pal ever, the wonderful RM commander, I should say, RM Briggs. Hey.
I don't deserve that beginning. That isn't a magnificent intro, but I'll take it because
I order you to deserve it. Sorry.
Because I love you, and one day I'm going to see you in real life. I'm going to smooch your whole face. I'm going to hug you. I just love you very much, and you're one of my best friends in the whole wide, lonely, crazy world. And I'm thrilled to be here. I am always thrilled to spend time with you and Mark and the members of the 735 Club and these marvelous clubsters, clobberanimos, clobberooskies, clobbettes, clubsters.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Are you prepared to be smooched, Clobberin' Times?
No, her husband's bigger than me. Well, taller anyway. I probably outweigh
those kinds of smooches. You could have friend smooches.
Well, as long as it's a friend like you, not like Mark or anything.
Yeah, you're not going to smooch.
Well, no,
right?
Mark even smooches dudes because Mark
has
Italian in his family, and base politeness definitely involves some smoochies.
Yes, I do smooch guys. Yes, but not in the way that you would smooch. Yeah. Well, it's impolite if you don't greet them.
That is right. It is base
years
politeness.
ago, I remember I went to give my uncle it's a greeting,
It
He's
is.
like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot where I was. Because you get used to. Because whenever I met my dad, I'd give you give the three, the 3 or 2 kisses.
Yes.
Or touch
Minimum
cheeks.
2. Minimum 2. 3
minimum
is
2,
like
sometimes 3. Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends on the
Anyway,
culture.
everybody,
Sorry,
I'll rescue you from this smooch talk.
Thank you.
And welcome to the great chief engineer, Mark D with the C.
The smoocher. Hey,
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
The 3 smooch engineer.
Yes. Well, reserve your questions after we get all the business of the day out of here, Pat S, buddy, and I'll yell you. Good to see you. Let's see. Show notes and then shout outs. What do you think? And then we'll talk to our friends in the chat. Show notes as follows. Tomorrow night on the I'll be back with Nick Weiser's, our great buddy Nick Weiser's channel on the Comic Shop, Friday Night Comic Shop Talk, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for part 2 of our review of the great Dave Stevens Rocketeer comic. And that'll be a lot of fun. And then, of course, Saturday Night Star Trek, of course. Indeed, 4 more episodes of These Are the Spins of Our Station. Days of Our Wormhole.
Be there. I'm going to make you eat clam pizza.
That too.
Sea tongue surprise.
Like ships through the wormhole. These are the spins of our station. Saturday night soap trek there. And then Sunday night geekery at the Mark D's channel. 10 p.m. Eastern. And then Monday is a big special day. Gonna have a double feature of Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk. The great J-Man is going to join me for another adventure onto the great Earth B, a zany Haney presentation.
Wow, that's a nice cover.
I would rushed it. It kind of messed it up a little bit, but this is another Bob Haney special, folks. A review of the wacky Bob Haney, the wacky world of Bob Haney.
What a great show poster. This is a feast for the eyes. So much going on. And I love that Batman is like punching into the comic. That is so cool.
He's punched himself into the comic.
Nice job,
a weird
boss.
One. Oh, thank you. I think I rushed it. It looks terrible, but thank you, though. Anyway, another review of a Bob Haney classic, a zany Haney book. Having a lot of fun with those. It's going to be at a special time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then at 9 p.m., this is going to be this review will be all fun and games. And at 9 p.m., we're going to, it'll be my usual time slot for Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk. Unfortunately, tomorrow it marks 2 years since we lost our dear friend Mark C. And, we're just going to just talk some basic comics and I'll talk a little bit about some of the comics that he loved and stuff like that. So forever miss him, our dear friend. And,
doesn't feel like 2 years. That's for sure.
Can't believe
I just want to send love out to his marvelous family and to his son.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for those hymns, everybody. Mark C is still missed here, and it will always be remembered here.
Yeah.
And, so, anyway, that's the show notes. Let's see. Well, let's do some shout outs, shall we?
Let's do it.
Starting with our great. I don't know. I haven't really had a chance to look at the chat, so I don't know who is here and who's not here. But we shout out our wrenchers, whether they are here or not. Starting with the great Eric K, the bronze wrencher.
Love you.
And his puppy
Kirby.
There's, of course.
Don't forget to put cheese in the chat for Curbs.
We've got the great Chris Persia.
Chris!
Vindicator Wrench of the North.
Thank
you so much, buddy.
Thank you for the gorgeous show poster tonight and for all of that wonderful promotion you do for us, this channel. We love you so much, Chris. Thank you.
Not worthy of a great wrencher like you, brother. D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Iron. Looking forward to hanging out with you again on Nick's channel tomorrow night. Talking some Rocketeer, buddy. And I don't know if he's here or not, but he is the chief of security, the god of wrenchers, Lord Thoth. And we always tip our hat to the wonderful Lady Thoth as well.
And Lancelot.
I'm getting there. But Avon lives. Long live the Legion, buddy. And then Lancelot.
Hey, Lance. There's little Lancy Pantsy. Don't forget to send Lancy Pantsy some cheese, too.
Cute dogs on this channel now.
I know. It's like cute dogs abound.
My partner in crime on Earth 2, the great J-Man. He is the wrench without fear. Please, of course, put your link in there if you're still there, J-Bo. And everyone, please go subscribe to his great channel. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with you Monday night, buddy.
And follow his links to Amazon. His name is Jason. He's an author. He writes horror. His wife is an award-winning poet. And in this indie community, we support one another. And Jason and his lovely wife are two people who support indie authors and indie creators. So hop on over. And if you like horror or if you like poetry, you know, Jay could use your support. J-Man,
Master of the Clobboni, Hungry Boy,
HB,
artist of Clobberin Times, and the painter of the cover of the magnificent tome, Science Fiction Tales by the great Commander R.M. Briggs.
And what a painting it is. Beautiful work. Absolutely stunningly beautiful work.
More on that book later, by the way. Kal-El Buddy, the super
real
rich
soup
himself. Yes, indeederishness. And of course, Rio de la French Mjolnir, the Thor from Vegas, Mario's daddy.
Yay, Thor from Vegas!
If encyclopedias could talk, he would still squawk. Fanty outsider.
Fanty!
With his rascally self. Dude, you and your messages, man. No, we love you, buddy. And of course, I know Polly is Minion is here, so let's get her shouted out right away so we can see the puppy dog.
Pepperoni.
The pepperoni.
The pepperoni, the pepperoni.
That was the only thing I had to think of. And I'm not going to tell you what that was a bag of.
That better not have been chips. Or
M&Ms?
No, Oreos.
Ooh, Oreos.
Well, let's see who was here. We thought Cindy shout out at them because this is what we do. It's the clubhouse, folks. It's about hanging out. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your fake name. Boom, boom, boom. It only Clubby's glad you came. You want to know who has a fake name? What is their real name? Then you'll say it's a shame. Use another fake name. My apologies. Oh, let's see. Who's lemon pie.
Lemon pie.
Feast my lemon pie. What's up? Some crazy person gave Yaworski pool practice.
Who is that guy?
I don't know. He's a shifty character from what I hear. Hey, good to see you there, sir.
He's always on cue.
Yes. Oh my.
Oh.
But does he always? But does he always?
You said that if he's not listening in, he's going to laugh hysterically. Mark.
Does he always break though?
Oh.
Stuart Mitchell, what is up, Kimasabi?
Dolly had braces.
Let's see.
Michael Beacom, hello, and shout out to the better half, Cassandra.
Good evening, Beacums. We love you.
Classic Comments, what is up, CC?
CC.
John Shaggy. Rupa. Ray. Dad Man walking in the Dad Man clan. Shout out to you,
Dad Man clan.
Our good friend. Good to see you, sir.
Look at the chat.
I can't see it. I have mine pulled back. So
Yaworski pool practice just responded. What? What?
Never. Just ditch the garden. Go back to doing whatever you were doing, sir. You're fine. Stokely Jotun. Sorry. Stokely. I hope you're having a great night, sir. Mark Lurseth. Hey.
Mark.
Yes. In fact, Yaworski pointed out Shane T'Pol did pass away. I didn't any. He goes by T'Pol. That's what people when he and not I don't mean as T'Pol from Star Trek either.
Yeah.
He was in Flash Gordon, the actor from Fiddler on the Roof, and I heard he passed. I never really knew his first name because he always goes by the one name in acting movies. He said, "Was he ever in a Star Trek episode?" I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
Good question, Yaworski pool practice. Good question.
I have to look at his IMDb. Yeah, I don't think so, though. Maybe you never know. Maybe it could have been. Pat S. Buddy has a question. When is it? I have a question for the senator officers of the senator, or maybe senior.
I think senior.
Brain, what is brain? You are not Morg, no, I'm Morg.
I made a meme about that, and
You did?
it's a nasty meme. And you're
Ooh.
welcome to ask for a copy of it, Pat S. I will share it with you.
Indeed. Oh, wow. J.T. Kirk was a man. He was a big man. What's up, buddy?
Did you get his super chat?
I'm not to it yet. Oh, maybe I did. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, J.T. Kirk. Thank you for the Thank you for the. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
He is Kirk! J.T. Kirk!
He is Kirk! Here's to the finest crew in Clobby Sleep. Thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. You were too kind, my friend. I really appreciate that.
Please say hello to your beautiful wife.
Indeedishness. Let me see. Make sure I got a. I want to. Let's finish. Make sure I got everybody. Okay. Let's see. Hang on. I'm sure there's more people here. Let me get to them. I have this thing pulled way back, so I could get everybody. Cloud selling. Hey. Yes, Michael Bickham. 2 weeks ago, we weren't on last week, but 2 weeks ago on Nick's channel, the comic shop, the Friday Night Comic Shop show, 8:30. The gang and Nick and I, and along with D-Bud, we reviewed the Dave Stevens Rocketeer, but there was so much of it, we cut it off somewhere in the middle. He didn't do the title for long, but so we're continuing tomorrow night to finish up the reviewing of the entirety of Dave Stevens' Rocketeer run, which was short, but
wow,
a little long for all of us to deal with in one show.
Yeah, but it sounds like everybody had a great time. It's lovely when there's so much ground to cover.
It's classic.
Yeah, that it spills over into 2 episodes. I think that's terrific.
We've done that a few times.
I should probably go watch that.
It was a lot of fun, but it was just covering the comic. I think hopefully we get a chance to talk about the movie a little bit. I would hope.
Okay. Yeah.
That's such a great movie. You ever seen The Rocketeer #1?
I haven't yet.
You might enjoy that. I don't know. You might.
I have to sit down and
I think you would like
throwback feel.
Yeah.
After we did that show, I went back and I couldn't stop myself. It was late at night. I watched it for the 10 millionth time. I love that movie so much. And it was so remarkable that movie got made. And when the comic only debuted about like 8 years before it. And we lost Dave Stevens too soon. What a great artist.
I am going to write that down right now on my list.
Rocketeer to the rescue. Ace Cast Iron.
Ace!
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Ace, tell me how things are, honey. What ship are you flying tonight, darling?
Good to see you there, brother. Claude Salling. I think I said already, but just in case. Claude Salling. Let's see here. I'm still moving the chat back, folks. Give me.
Chris likes the Rocketeer too.
Oh, it's much love. One of the greatest. DJ Ronnie G.
DJ Ronnie G.
Well, you know who's in it, right? Your boy, Billy Campbell. He's brilliant in it.
Is Billy Campbell in the Rocketeer?
He's the Rocketeer.
Yeah. I love Billy Campbell. Guess who else loved Billy Campbell?
Yeah, Roddenberry.
Gene Roddenberry. Guess what Gene Roddenberry wanted Billy Campbell to do? To play the Decker unit.
He'd have been great, and you will love him in this movie.
He would have been a way better writer, you know.
He is so good in the Rocketeer.
Billy Campbell's in the Rocketeer. I'm watching it this weekend.
He is the Rocketeer. If you can find that, I think you would love it. Just a nice throwback to old-fashioned fun pulp adventure movies.
But can Billy Campbell make
great store
pizza?
Great bad. Also great. Has Timothy Dalton as the baddie. Great. And he's great.
Timothy Dalton is a very bad baddie. That's why I don't like him as 007 because he's a bad baddie.
I love him as Bond. He's brilliant.
Too bad for me. Bad boy.
No, it's okay. But I love Living Daylights, and I love him as James Bond because he is like Bond's not supposed to be nice. Let's see here.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Even though I do love Roger Moore, who did play him sort of that way. Captain Infinity and Beyond. You know, Captain Infinity, with some of the episodes we have this week coming up on Saturday Night Star Trek, may require your attention. The Time Police. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, he was talking about skin jobs earlier, so and then he put toaster. So we all know what he's having a conversation about some new BSG. BSG.
Yeah, whenever I see the episodes, I'm like, oh, Captain Infinity is going to go crazy on this one.
Yes. Ezra Goldstein, shalom, my friend.
Shalom, sweetheart. Shalom.
Good to see you. Captain James J. Skywalker, what is up, brother?
Skywalker.
Let's see here. I think Donnie Pearson. Hey, Donnie Pearson, what's up, buddy?
Donnie?
Good to see you, sir. So I think we're caught up now on all of our shout outs. There we go. Let's see here. What should we start with? I guess we should let number one start. It's ladies first, and she's number one after all. So
she knows what she's doing.
You want to start with the episodes you have for us, and then after that we'll do a UFO.
Yeah, I think that's a good. I think that would be a good thing to do. I think we should start with Tales of Tomorrow.
Today.
So, as many of you know, I have been working my way through Tales of Tomorrow, and I highly recommend it.
Look who's here.
Larry! Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, Larry.
Larry, did you get my mail yet? Did anything come in the mail for you? I mailed you something, sweetheart. Would you please tell me when it gets there?
By the way, you have something in the mail as well, but it might take a while.
Oh, I do?
Finally. It took me forever to remember.
I know what I'm going to do. I know what it is. It's the UFO badge.
It'll take forever, but probably to get there.
I'm going to be cosplaying. So it's time to buy some fishnets and get it going.
Could take a while. You know how that is. Just when it gets there.
Lambda. Oh!
Lambda.
I love it.
So anyway, Tales of Tomorrow.
Okay, so this week, as everyone knows, and Mark, you can feel free to draw up some.
Yeah, I'll get some
pictures of it. And Mark helps me out with this because, folks, some of these episodes, they don't have Wikipedia pages. They don't have IMDb pages. The information is scarce, and the resolution is very low when you're watching Tales of Tomorrow, which is free in the public domain now, I believe. And it is from 1951. Domain, So, the images aren't terrific, but we will share it. And this week I made some notes about this one so that I didn't go on for too long. But this week we're going to be reviewing season 1, episode 8, that is free in the public domain on Tubi. But I have been led to believe that when this originally aired, it was season 1, episode 11. And this first aired on November 9th, 1951, The Search for the Flying Saucer. A newsman travels to a small town to investigate reports of flying saucers. He goes to a boarding house and learns the whole town refuses to talk about it. Crazy John rifles through the newsman's things and reveals that people enter a cave and come out aliens, replacing the townspeople. Some folks are too frightened to speak. Others don't speak because they are aliens. The newsman reveals he's not actually a newsman, just a guy who saw a saucer elsewhere. Then we find out that he's actually a pilot, and not just a pilot, but a pilot in the Air Force. The boarding house's owner, Ginny, makes out with him instantly. He tells her that he loves her instantly. She says that she loves him back instantly. Literally been there one day, folks. He shares his suitcase of newspaper clippings. He's a crackpot, and he has all these newspaper clippings. He makes for the landing zone with Crazy John, the other person at the boarding house who believes he's seen as seen aliens. And then all of a sudden, the spaceman boss shows up, and he confronts Ginny. And there's a big twist at the end. And it's very romancy-pantsy. And it's not good.
You don't like the romance, or you don't like the...
It's not that. It's like the romancy-pantsy, romance in your pants. It's the telos.
Where else are you going to keep it? Sorry.
Right, exactly. Well, you can have it in your heart too, right?
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
But the romancy-pantsy is the telos. And if you don't know that word, it means the purpose or the end goal. So the purpose or the end goal of this entire scenario is the romance in your pants. So, yeah.
Oh, you and Ace Cast Iron would get along so well.
Not
Are
a
there
fan.
any green ladies? Are there any green ladies in this one?
No green ladies. This is okay. It's a 6 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's all right. Do I think you should skip it in your Tales of Tomorrow rewatch? No, absolutely not. You should still keep it in your watch. But it might help if you had a glass of wine, maybe a root beer, a sarsaparilla. Maybe you could fold some laundry during this episode.
Go back to folding laundry again. Who does that anymore?
Well, when it sucks, I definitely fold laundry. Okay, so has anyone ever watched this romancy-pantsy abomination of sci-fi?
No.
Okay.
No, wow. Fantastic.
So
I always forget to watch this every week.
The problem
one of these days I'll start it.
The problem with it is we never meet the person who owns the boarding house. Okay. There is some super cheesy I think they're called cutaway shots, but I don't know. I'm not a geek. I'm just a lowly nerd. Nerds are completely useless unless it's something out of a book. So I don't know anything about film, but I think they're called cutaway shots. Anyways, there are numerous cutaway shots. And as they show the horrified visage, the horrified countenance of these townspeople, and after telling you that they're likely aliens. So it's just let's move on.
I never found that sound effect funny until you started doing it. I'm not even kidding. I never really laughed at that kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, whatever. You doing it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I don't know.
I love you. I love you very much. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So the search for the flying saucer. Absolutely. Please continue watching it as you go through Tales of Tomorrow.
Dave
but don't expect it to be good.
Yep. Okay. No, I got you. They can't all be masterpieces, can they?
Dave!
No, Ace, you know what I mean? I mean, I just got used to it with you doing it. You're the fart champion, no question about it. I'm just saying. I mean,
I like how you got Ace to use superlative exclamation points.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, you know, when you come to expect it to someone, it was superfluous, of course.
Sorry.
Some people you just don't expect that kind of thing from. So
it's
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah. I think so. I think it shocks people. Okay, so the next episode of Tales of Tomorrow is Time to Go. And they don't mean that you have to, excuse yourself to go to the ladies' room. It's just called Time to Go. It's season 1, episode 9. And I have been led to believe through the shoddy service of IMDb that it was likely season 1, episode 29. And we all watched this if we were alive, on April 18th, 1952.
Look at that. Number 1. I'm sorry. You got to see it.
A raspberry from a literal professor of communications is immediately rebranded as hilarious via recontextualization. Isn't it? I love you, Captain Infinity.
Those are some big words next to some little words. That's
well done.
He's a marvelous human being. Okay, so we'll move on to Time to Go. If you wouldn't mind, please bringing that up.
But everyone stay. Don't go.
Yep, yeah, but don't go. Please don't go. Unless you have to go. And then please excuse yourself. But come right back after you've gone. So yeah, April 18th, 1952. A beautiful woman is barricading her door with furniture. Natalie calls the operator to find her lover. Michael then calls her back. It's her husband. He wants to separate. He's at a hotel. She begs him to come home. She says someone is coming to get her. She recalls a fight they had earlier in the week and the story of the day. She received a strange letter from the bank. They argued over chores. We wind up at the bank. She's alone. It's a bank for time, run by aliens. They bank and grow time, sending the time to an alien planet. He shows her a ledger filled with famous time savers and investors. It's all highly secretive, so she signs up. She banks hours for 2 weeks. she's got she goes home, and because she doesn't want to spare any second, she gets rid of her husband's dog. She calls the pound and has the dog put to sleep. When the husband comes home from work, they have a huge fight about it, and he leaves her, as he should. Natalie finds out there is another bank person, a neighbor, who has died. The bank alien shows up at Natalie's to take her life via contract. He gives her until midnight to live. Then we return to the present phone call. And I'm not going to reveal the ending.
That's a fascinating concept.
Wow.
Captain Kennedy might even have something to say. It's interesting. There, look at that.
So,
It is nice.
Time to Go was excellent. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, but let's remember that Tales of Tomorrow, I think they're only like 20 minutes long. So it gets the job done. I think it's really neat because it's not so much about time travel or about time as it is this philosophical, conversation about how we're trying to steal away these moments for ourselves, and the time we give up and the time we save, and even the idea that we think that we can save time. So it's very philosophical, it's very cerebral, and it's quite cool. You don't feel beholden to uncover the science behind how these aliens are collecting this time and depositing it in their own universe, because you're preoccupied with unpacking this idea of, yeah, why are we like this? Why do we think we can save time? And look at the things that we do to one another in order to do that. And here it's an extreme. This terrible shrew of a wife gets rid of her husband's dog, and he leaves her for it. So I think it's excellent. I think it's a very cool concept, and I really like the fact that it's philosophically engaging. It's not so much the nuts and bolts of time. And I also have to tell everyone that this Tales of Tomorrow is another one of those Tales of Tomorrow that feels very stage play. So while you're watching it, it does not feel like cinema. It does not feel like television. While you're watching it, you really feel that you're at your local theater and you're watching it in real life. So it is quite enjoyable for that stage play aspect to it. There's nothing celluloid about this. Even when we go to the bank, there's such a cool shift. You sort of feel like the house lights came down. They moved all of the stuff, the paraphernalia around on the stage, and then you happen on this new environment. So the stage play feel of it is quite enjoyable. So I gave it an 8 out of 10, and it was really good. And now I'll ask everyone: has anyone seen Time to Go?
I have not. I have seen Max Redstone this year, though. Good to see you there, buddy.
Maximum Limerick.
Maximum. What's up,
Max?
I have not. Like I said, we haven't started watching this yet. We keep meaning to. I want to, and I will. I just don't think about it. But I think about it while we're here, then throughout the course of the week. If I write a reminder to myself, maybe I'll remember before the end of the month.
Yep.
But it sounds fascinating. It sounds like a good show, too. And I'm glad you're reporting on it. You're getting the word out there.
Yeah, yeah, you're a very naughty boy. I do love you though, because I absolutely love Steely Dan. I'm a massive Steely Dan fan, a huge Steely Dan fan. Double entendre not intended. Although it's unavoidable since that's what they named the group. Donald Fagen, such a bad boy. Tales of Tomorrow is definitely worth your time. Now what am I in? I'm at 9 episodes in, and I do have to tell you, it's so short and so enjoyable. You just don't want to shut it off. You want to binge the whole thing. I have to stop myself from continuing watching it. It's a lot of fun.
I'm in weird cartoon mode right now in my life, but once I get back out of that cycle, that I'm going to start back on that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to start on that one.
Mm-hmm. And that's
it's free to watch on Tubi too, so that's the good thing. So
it's in the public domain.
Even our Tubi?
Yes, even on your Tubi, and it's on archive.org. I believe it's on YouTube. These all entered the public domain a short while ago, but not all of them. And I think that's the reason for the jumbled episode numbers. So you're seeing
Yeah, this is
29, 9, 11, 6, and you're like, what?
yeah.
So if you're just following along in the streaming order on Tubi, you should be okay if you're following along with me. But if you're somewhere else in the world, it might be a good idea to follow those the titles rather than the episode numbers.
Yeah, so there's 18 on Tubi, only 18 episodes.
But that's just season 1.
Yeah, but that's all that Tubi has. It's just 18 episodes.
Oh, that's it. Oh, well,
Yeah,
I'm going to have to
end
switch
here,
to archive.org or YouTube, folks.
Yeah, so they have
YouTube has them all, probably.
Yeah, this is probably pretty easy to find, I think, and various
My Tubi, I think my Tubi
outlets.
has them all.
So Tales of Tomorrow, let's see what all episodes.
Because they definitely do different things to different countries, these services, even, for some damn reason. They'll do different things with them.
Season 2 has, of course, back then, they did a lot of episodes. So season 2 has 42 episodes.
Yeah. There are plenty. I think there.
So that's 4
what
seasons of a new show. Yeah.
I think what fell into the public domain. I announced it when I looked it up. I believe it's around 70 or 80 that are readily available and they're in the public domain. So I expect that. I'm so sorry for my American friends. They're going to have to watch it on YouTube. I'll be watching it on Tubi.
Oh, you have more episodes on your version?
I do. I think I have them all, Mark.
Although YouTube doesn't have commercials on the upside, so
yes.
I mean during the show, that is.
Yeah.
At least some YouTube doesn't.
Yeah, I enjoy commercials though.
Yeah, they make me insane, but I have to.
I'm well, for me, they're a bit of nostalgia because they helped shape our culture. And they are such high quality compared to the online commercials. It's when people really worked at making stories. And so I see them as a form of storytelling, when they're done really, really well. And they can be most enjoyable. I actually long for the days when we had those really high quality commercials that brought the world into our living rooms and at the highest standards possible. Now, when I'm online, it's like you hear a computer voice. Do you have warts on the bottom of your feet? Have you tried vinegar? It's like, what is happening to me right now? Why are they showing this to me? This is horrible.
Yeah. 85 total episodes. Now, why would only some go into public domain and not others? That seems kind of strange.
I'm not
maybe
sure.
Certain writers, maybe, or
yeah, some of them might be. I think it's because I was led to believe that they're all that they were all short stories, and certainly that isn't the case because as I've been researching them, some of them their origin is teleplay. But I was led to believe that there will be a bounty of really, really high quality short stories from Arthur C. Clarke and H.G. Wells and, like really, really stellar authors. And then they have been turned into teleplays for this production. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Well, you got a good ways to go then with them, apparently. So
yeah, it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
I'm just trying to see if they mentioned why. Release the public domain. Yep. Most of the TV episodes are in the United States public domain.
Yeah.
And 5 radio episodes. Yep. I'd put that link in before you. Available to download the Internet Archive. Yep.
Yeah.
Around 40 have been released on various DVD sets.
Mm-hmm.
Another handful on VHS, which is the only place to find a child just crying. One of the most memorable episodes of the series. Now, I wonder why. I'll do some research, but I wonder why that's. Why that is,
someone's rights are interfering,
or maybe some of them are lost too. Like Doctor Who's missing a lot of lost episodes. You wonder.
Well, that's a good point because when you're watching, which is it? Is it both Time to Go and this other one that I reviewed this week, The Search for the Flying Saucer? The res is so bad. You would not believe it. Like, I'm not even a geek, and I know that the res is terrible here. There are times when motion and shape are lost due to the quality of the film. So I really hope that someone will lovingly digitize all this stuff and try and, I don't know, fix it. I don't know, but it's just scary because you don't want to lose this to our culture. This is a very important part of our culture.
Good night, Maddie's daddy.
Good night,
Nice,
Steve.
Daddy. Good night, buddy.
He's
Have a
turned
good
into
one,
a
man.
pumpkin.
Man,
Well,
it's only-
actually-
it is 2 hours earlier for us.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, later for us.
he must get up early. But these episodes, most of them are kinescoped, which is you record the TV show as it's broadcast. So it loses. So a lot of old TV shows you have kinescope, and actually we trivia aside, we lost the first recording of the moon landing. We only have the kinescope of that, so they had actually much higher quality, which film from the TV studio. No, just kidding. And so we only surviving is the kinescope, and they were looking for the original footage, which is came down to NASA, and it couldn't be broadcast directly live, coming from the moon. And so they just put a TV camera onto a monitor, and that's the surviving footage.
Wow.
That's why it looks.
And that's called kinescope.
Kinescope, yeah.
Nice. And would you mind if you could please just look up kin or kine?
I'm showing it on the screen right now.
I know I can see that. I just I'll just look it up in I just want
You're
to
looking
know
up kin. You want to look up kin or kine? Yeah.
Yeah, of course I do. I'm sorry, nerd in the house.
Language, yep. Cows. A lowly kine came home tonight. Says it's it's a cow.
Yeah.
Never heard of that before. Why are cows called kine? Well,
it is the plural. It is the plural of cow. Let's
interesting.
Hold on for a second.
Well, I guess it's shortened from kinescope, but yeah.
Disney may not be able to do nothing about Steamboat Willie, Pat, but they still unfortunately own Marvel. So,
yeah.
So they'd
still probably come after you somehow. Yeah.
Well, they own Ben Grimm, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. This is quite crazy because when I'm looking it up, I just went to the etymological dictionary, and its only meaning, folks, is cow. Let's get rid of the E and see what happens. Then it's kind, child, akin.
We have to wait one more year for Steamboat Willie, January 1st, 2024, when Sonny Bono.
Perhaps kinetic.
True, 24.
Yeah.
Yes, perhaps kinetic.
Yeah, so we don't want to play that now.
I worry about a cumulative connotation and prefix and suffix and portmanteaus and all sorts of stupid stuff no one cares about. Yes, that is it. It's kinetic. Yeah. Okay. Lovely. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Hungry Boy. So, yeah, neat.
Cool.
That's initially what I thought, but I thought, what?
That's why some of those honey episodes are lost.
Kinesiology, right? Like,
yeah, they're
Snail Messiah.
Yeah. Hey, Snail.
Good to see you.
Lovely.
Well, what's going on next? Are we ready to move on to our next segment?
Yeah, let's move on to our next segment. That was super fun, everyone. Thank you. And I learned something. What's the word again? Kinetoscope?
Kinescope? I think it's kinescope.
Kinescope. That's the way I understand it's pronounced, but what do I know? I'm IR an engineer.
Kinescope. So terrific and most interesting and lovely. Thank you, everyone. Okay, let's get moving on to UFO.
Go for it. Number one, introduce us.
Okay, tonight we're going to be reviewing Computer Affair. This is a season 1, episode 15 on Prime and episode 21 on ITV. It is prod code 2, and we are following the Fanderson order of watching. This was first broadcast on May 15th, 1971. And there, believe it or not, folks, I just want to take a moment to talk about this. Computer Affair has no Wikipedia on the Wikipedia, network or Wikipedia pages. There's nothing there. So I would like to turn this into a call to action. Any of you out there who have applied to be a wiki corrector or a Wikipedia author, it would be lovely if you could please start a Computer Affair page for us. There is no synopsis for this episode. Our good friend Mark D with a C hosted a lovely watch party this evening. It was supposed to take place this afternoon, but he had to move it to this evening because he works a lot. And so, so I know some of you know what happened in this episode, but there's really no summary out there. I've made extensive notes, but I'm going to throw it back to the captain, and I'm going to throw it back to Mark and sort of see which direction the chief engineer and the captain want to go in here. But once again, I would really like it if one among you would please go to Wikipedia, and if you have those permissions, would you please start Computer Affair, May 15th, 1971 for UFO. The world needs it. And this marvelous property, this marvelous television show certainly deserves it.
IMDb, I just
IMDb,
put in,
IMDb,
has a semi-decent summary, and also Fanderson site. I have that in my show notes from the watch party, but let me throw that in because they do actually have a nice,
Excellent,
nice stuff.
Do it,
about
boss.
the show.
Do it.
So I'll put those into the links. Yep. So
yeah, the Fanderson guide, but also this is also prod order. For some reason, I wonder why they aired it so much later.
Yeah, this was aired at 21, but I think this sets up a lot of fundamental stuff in the series. So I think it's a really well done.
Why was it made so much
episode.
earlier?
Yeah. I mean, so it was aired so much later.
Yeah, did one of you want to read or synopsis? You want to just go ahead and talk about the episode?
Like I said, I have extensive notes. I wish that there were a summary available. I don't like reading the summaries on IMDb because sometimes they're a rabbit hole. They're written by just regular people and they're not usually edited. And IMDb is a cesspool. Like, it's so incorrect. At least with Wikipedia, you can check and see if somebody has vetted through in-text citation and you know that a whole bunch of people have chicken pecked each other over every little thing that's been in it, even though it also sucks. But the level of suckage is much worse is much higher on IMDb than it is on Wikipedia. So I'm not sure where we're going to get the summary from. But
Fanderson has a very short summary. So.
Yeah, well, let's use that as a launching off point. And please, this is a plea from a heartfelt nerd and academic. Please give me a Computer Affair page for this marvelous franchise, this marvelous television show. It deserves it. We can't let it be forgotten. Yeah. Oh, Larry's giving addresses. Sorry, Larry, I didn't see, honey. Okay.
What?
I keep giving addresses. I think he gave us some addresses to look at.
All right.
Lovely. Okay, Mark, why don't you go ahead, my friend?
Go for it. Or
I have that one up right now, but which I'm cutting and pasting. Where's Larry's address, or did he send it? Is it in the chat, or is it in?
I think it's in the chat.
I give it. Right, it didn't. Well, my chat is slow, I guess, on YouTube. I'm not seeing it. It says I keep giving addresses, but did it disappear? Oh, here we go. Yep.
You have it, honey?
Oh, wait, no, that's my link. Where is it? Sorry, keep talking, and I'll look in the chat for maybe
Okay.
is Larry a mod? If he's not a mod, his links will disappear.
Okay, so I'll just read this little bit here just to keep things going. An astronaut is killed during a UFO alert, and the UFO gets through Shadow's outer defenses. Stricker wants to know why it happens and suspects human error. That's not correct.
Not correct. That was Alec who did.
That was Alec Freeman who suspected human error.
Yep.
Is the relationship between Gay Ellis and Mark Bradley to blame? I guess that's okay, but it's completely incorrect. So why don't I try and sort of explain what happened in this episode, and then maybe I can get to my notes, or maybe Clobby can just jump in and start talking. So a UFO appears, and Nina calls them the omniceptors or omniceptors.
Mm-hmm.
Those are those spinning psycho things. It gets through the three interceptors, and the one astronaut is killed, and it's the number one astronaut, and Mark Bradley is number 3. So what ends up happening is they do an analysis to figure out what has happened and why this error occurred, because of course they were given coordinates to escape to. What is the trajectory of the omniceptor, the alien vessel, and how to avoid it? And so unfortunately, Mark Bradley is number 3 on the interceptor team. So they come back and they do a huge computer analysis, and it comes out that Gay Ellis spared Mark Bradley, although he was actually he should have been the one. Basically, it comes out that he should have been the one who should have been killed, not number 1. I guess she sends the coordinates to Mark first to get away, or doesn't act quickly enough where number 1 is concerned. And so after looking at all of this analysis, it's Alec's job to show up and see what happened. And he reports back to Straker, and he says, I was there. It was a very confusing incident. Everything was happening very quickly. There was lots of danger. Lots of calls had to be made. There was a lot of math flying back and forth. I think it could have been human error, is what Alec said. It could have been. And so they go through a whole bunch of psychological tests and physical tests. They see a psychiatrist, and it's revealed that that Gay Ellis has feelings for Mark Bradley, and that was the cause of him getting away and the other astronaut dying. I'll throw it over to Clobby. Clobby, you want to take it from there?
No, you pretty much summed it up well. I mean, it's Alec starts to he has to, it's very, very, by the way, hello there, Blunt Philly Reviews. Welcome.
Hey.
Blunt.
It's very subtle, but he starts to pick up on some body language or some facial language from not so much Mark, but I guess him as well, but definitely from Gay.
Mm-hmm.
And starts to become suspicious that she may have, even unconsciously, because of feelings she might have, her emotions, had made the wrong given the coordinates to the wrong one at the wrong time, which of course led to the death of one of the interceptor pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who called them down for psychological examinations.
Yep.
It was a fascinating episode because of that. It's really just this episode. Back then, this is when you can make a whole episode that is foundational. This is only the second episode of the series. It really sets things up very well. You're talking about this one scene. You just couldn't do that scene today. The scene where Mark, who was a very good pilot, is brought into the psychological evaluation center. I know you got notes on this, so I won't go too far into it. And this is something that the officer analyzing him, testing them all,
mm-hmm.
says to him,
Yes.
that was pretty shocking.
That was a shock. Yeah.
But I love the way Mark handled it. He basically said, "What do you think about it?" I just assumed you didn't mean it.
Yep.
Boom! Right there, it's like, wow. Can you imagine people seeing that? Some people of today seeing something like that.
That was a macro aggression right there.
Yeah,
not even
a macro aggression.
Well, the psychiatrist intended it to elicit, a violent response. The psychiatrist was trying to provoke them to see what would make them snap.
Right. And again, it's funny because, everything we know about the show, we've all watched it. But something that you'll learn as you go along, if you're new to the show, is these are people that were very carefully chosen.
Yes.
To fight this threat to the earth.
Yes.
And Straker's very meticulous. He's very concerned that even the slightest mistake, and you'll see down the road in this series how if you're not willing to put it all on the line, the slightest mistake you can make could cost us the whole planet.
Billions of people will die.
And I wondered why Paul Foster was in the credits. We could show a few pictures here and there, but
Yeah, don't show too many. We don't want to get ourselves into trouble.
It's a different company.
I have it on super slow. Yeah, I have it on super slow too. So
yeah, once in a while you can. But so Paul's in there because he was on later episodes. But go ahead, even though
I totally agree with you. This is an incredible episode because the crux of this episode is that when you're in a very isolated position and you're a part of an elite team, they say in this episode even that Gay Ellis can read Straker's mind when it comes to policy and mathematics and systems and procedures. Alex says that. And of course, it makes Gay smile. But Mark Bradley is at the top. Like Mark Bradley is more than a pilot. He's an astronaut. And he is only one of 3 people in the entire world who Straker handpicked to run an interceptor. And so, this is an extremely elite team. And so it's a dangerous position to be in. So he's quite worried at the suggestion of this psychiatrist who either rightly or wrongly, and we're going to discuss this later, accuses these two of loving one another, of perhaps being in the beginnings of sexual attraction, or even in the beginnings of being in a relationship. And they try through these procedures to uncover if it's subconscious or if it's actually happening. And it's important because Gay Ellis is his boss. She runs basically this entire elite squad on the moon. She's an astrophysicist. She is the right hand of Straker. It's his brains on the moon, and there's a lot at stake. And so here we really test this idea of, is it okay for a superior like Gay Ellis to be in love with a subordinate who is also an incredibly important part of this team as this super ultra elite interceptor pilot? And that is what we talk about in this episode. This is the journey we're actually on as we watch it.
Absolutely. Every now and then I want to break the knot a little bit, then I'll go back.
I think this is one of the better episodes of the series too. I think, and right off the bat, there's some fantastic ones coming up. But going back to watching them again, this one always stood out. And what I think sets it apart too is you see how serious this crew is, as you mentioned. It's kind of like the Delta Force or the Top Gun, in our armed forces. So it's the best of the best, and it's not a cheesy, let's just have all these cool gadgets and have like a kiddie show. The attitude is very serious. They treat it with the chain of command and those psychological tests they gave all the pilots. So that's where you're cheering for. You're like, wow, they're not talking back to the commanders. They're not crying in the hallways. They're not weeping.
Yeah,
they're not throwing out F-bombs. They're not saying, yay, hurrah, way to go, hurrah for the win.
They're not childish fools. They're professionals.
Yeah.
It's just it's such
With
a
highly analytical minds, right?
it's such
Yeah.
it's so this is so much more Star Trek than that filth they make today that's called Star Trek. It's not even
Yeah.
close.
This is absolutely beautiful, and this is why I want people to watch it, is because it is as daring as the original series. It does carve those new pathways, and it does so sincerely and so organically, and it becomes glorious. Here we have Gay Ellis, in the 1960s. um, uh, and she's in charge. Not only is she in charge, she has more in the military, but she's an astrophysicist who has more power than the president. And here we have a colonel who looks to her as a lieutenant for all of his information and to run this elite, almost like a Freemason environment on the moon. And then we have Mark Bradley. And then we have this gorgeous interracial relationship happening, and it's amazing.
Are they an item? I mean, you're kind of left thinking.
Well, you're not left thinking about it.
Well,
For sure.
I kind of thought it was a little ambiguous at the end, but
well, no, it was actually the play on that was more of it sort of left you wondering if what the computer uncovered was the truth of what was going on with Gay and Mark, or if they began to explore the relationship because it was uncovered by the computer. But
I just want to know who the computer was cheating on. Was the computer cheating with ChatGPT or with B9? Or
and the best thing
what computer was having an affair here? What was going on here? Can't these computers keep their circuits in their sockets? Come on.
Well, the best thing about that for you, someone like you, Rico, who doesn't like all that stuff on the show, is it's whatever happens, you're fine because it happens outside of the show. They don't do whole episodes about them talking about their fifis with each other.
Yeah, that's just it. And who wants to sit there and watch people, bumping uglies or talking about bumping uglies? Look, if you want to show each other your naughty bit, sure, fine, no problem. But in science fiction, I don't really think it has a big place. And that's why it's important to, be caretakers of genre. I'm someone who I absolutely loathe romantic comedies. I mean, I suppose there's a couple that are all right, but I mean, they really are so cringy to me. And they're so bloody cringy. And so I like it when people are sexually attracted to one another and romantically attracted to one another in a highly dignified way. And so we see that with UFO. We see that with the original series, Star Trek, the original series. And so you're getting this adult interaction instead of this sort of childish, giggly, curl your toes BS that makes me mental. Anyway.
Yep. They have a thing for each other, but it's off camera. You never have to deal with it as a viewer. It exists and it's fine.
Yeah, and it becomes beautiful, like seeing a Gay with Mark, and both of them are two incredibly gorgeous people, and you realize that they're both like two of the smartest human beings that have ever lived and that are alive now in this scenario, just sitting at a little French cafe having lunch with one another and gazing into one another's eyes. I find that far more romantic than the goofy BS you see in the rom-coms. I don't find it enjoyable. This is the kind of thing that I enjoy, especially this this groundbreaking circumstance of Gay being in such a high position, and Mark being her subordinate, and Gay having to decide if it's going to be okay for her to be with Mark, and how that's going to play out, and she answers all of the questions in the end. She says, no, I love Mark. Yeah, I'm going to explore these things with Mark, but I will never choose Mark's life over the lives of billions. And she does that in the end, emphatically. And so we trust her again, and we know that she'll never allow her feelings to interfere with her duty.
Yep. And I might point out, last week there was a gentleman who who was in the first episode of Blake 7. He's in this one as well. And another guy, 2 guys from the first episode of Blake 7 are in this episode. 1, 2, can there be a coinky dink? I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
And Stryker has the world's best bar, right? You press a button, whiskey, bourbon, rum.
I like
so
Alex.
the sets are so futuristic, but not overly futuristic. But it obviously has that 60s vibe, but it's clean futurism. Even when you watch some of the stuff, it's lit, it's well lit, and it makes sense. And it's
hey, there are lights on and everything. Unlike some shows. Hey, Grim, good to see you, Grim. Imagine that they can see everything. And there's my boy Alec, but he's a class act. He's
a sweetheart of a man.
He's noticing what's going on and what towards the end. Well, if you want to wait till we get to talk about what happens at the end, I thought was pretty good too.
Yeah, what happens? Oh, there's Sid.
There's Sid. Yeah, so we want to explain what Sid is since it's only the second review, but Sid's the satellite in the sky that's got the eyes on checking to monitor when the UFOs are coming, and he's I don't know if you call him sentient, but he can speak, kind of like the Echo device or like Hal. They have conversations with him, and he transmits all the coordinates to the ladies on the moon base, so then they can, as you see, then they launch the interceptors.
That's right.
Now, originally I was reading the interceptors; those missiles were supposed. Everyone said, "Well, how come they only have one missile?" It was supposed to launch a net of missiles out, and I guess the effects it was too expensive to do that, or didn't pan out. That's one of the minor criticisms. You've just got.
I don't find that a criticism. I think it's bizarre that people think that you would have oodles and poodles of weapons at this time when you're thinking about that being a cruise missile or a nuclear missile, and you're thinking about it being deployed in space. You're not really thinking, pew 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 pew.
Well,
pew,
the
pew,
idea
pew,
would
pew,
be
pew,
that
pew 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 pew. Like we don't need a Gatling gun of nuclear missiles. I think 3 is sufficient.
Well, it would be like a MIRV, so a multiple independent reentry vehicle, like we have in nuclear warheads, where that one warhead would splinter out and have like 10
I see
warheads.
what you're saying. But for me, it makes me think the interceptors are even more powerful due to the fact that they have these 3 nuclear warheads on them, and that's number one. And then it's
plus the other part too for the writers. Then once in a while they escape and make it to Earth, or they crash on Earth, like you see later on in this episode. So that's kind of part of it too. But no, it's really the tech in these ships. Is it Gary Anderson or Jerry Anderson?
Jerry,
because it's Jerry, right? Yeah,
I think it's Jerry for sure.
Because Pop Culture Mindful's messed me up now. Jerry.
Well,
Gary.
I do love our friends from the UK, but let's face it, they pronounce Emmer, an idea, dear. So
I've always heard Jerry Anderson. Maybe opinions vary. I don't know.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah, but I always
Gary or Jerry. But
I've always heard Jerry, but you never know.
So super cool.
Thunderbirds. Well, just want to mention
super cool episode, everyone, and really cool idea.
Request review Journey to the Far Side of the Sun. Didn't you already review that?
I think I did.
I think you did that movie, but can't remember.
Let me write it down. Journey to the Far Side of the Sun. Okay.
It's Mark, and for anyone who wants to watch this show, I think they're all on YouTube. Just check out what order we're watching it at, if you would. But they're also I watch them on Roku TV. And,
Roku TV has them.
Yeah, and some others do too, but they're free on YouTube still. Aren't they?
Freevee has it. Which
Freevees do. Ace, I'm Canadian, so I never had access to this show. I discovered it I think 2 years ago, and I started talking to Clubby and Mark about it about a year ago. I'm going to tell you one thing right now, Ace. If this show would have been out when I was young, there would have been a serious rivalry for my heart when it comes to Star Trek, the original series, and this series. I think that the most beautiful thing ever made on television is Star Trek, the original series. But the second most beautiful thing ever made on television is definitely this show. The UFO is, it's second only to TOS. This show is Like, I think I don't even know how many times I've watched it through now. I actually really don't know. It might be 3, it might be 6. I don't know.
Well, I really
love
enjoyed
it.
it. I love it. I mean, I can't put it in my top maybe 20 or anything like that so far, but I need to watch it again. But I do like it a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just really
It's
cool.
really, 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 really compelling television
Look how
that
cool
treats
that
you like
ship
an
is.
adult,
Oh,
and
the
it is
ships are
great
so
science
cool.
fiction.
I always bring this up, but I can't. It's just, it seems important to me. This is a guy that before this, everything he did these gadgets look like they're right out of his puppet shows that he did. And yet this was not one of those. This was and I have every respect for those and love them, of course. But this was just extraordinary. And I
That's
would
why
take,
those puppet shows, the ships look so awesome.
yeah, because
Is
they looked like
because these
right
effects,
out of the
those practical
Thunderbirds.
effects. Yeah.
Yeah, they look like they're Thunderbird ships and those ships that he has in those shows. Yeah.
It's
Because
beautiful.
those effects, when I was a kid seeing that, oh God, I love that. The Thunderbirds, and you're like, these vehicles are so cool.
And even Masterson. Sorry.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Mark.
Andy,
Andy's
would
never
you
said he's
please
never
do
seen it.
that?
Wow.
I'm trying to get everyone to watch it, but
If you get a chance.
because it's the most beautiful thing ever.
But
So-
Michael Beacom said, must disagree, Trek is always number one, but the prisoner begs prisoner's my number. Put it like this, I have a quandary. The Star Trek is in my heart. The original series is my favorite show of all time in my heart. But to me, The Prisoner is the greatest show ever made. It's out of the two, but Star Trek has my heart more, but The Prisoner is just, I mean, I love it just as much. And of course, I love other shows. I love Blake 7 almost as much and Doctor Who almost as much, and a couple others right up there with those two, but in that rarefied air. So, but yeah, Star Trek is heart. It's in my heart
Star Trek
more than
will always
anything
be
else.
number one for me.
Yeah, me too. But I love The Prisoner on a different, just sort of a different way.
A different type of show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably, if I had to say something, is you can't compare them much though, because Star Trek has 79 episodes. Prisoner has 17, and they're just so different.
Yeah.
But The Prisoner's the greatest.
You sure there's not 18? I'm just kidding. But yeah, the Captain Scarlet was a great show too, and yeah, Gary. Oh, I'm messed up now.
I call him Gary.
Gary.
No, I mean,
Jerry
I
has some great
minefield, buddy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Has some great, fantastic shows, and yeah, quote unquote for kids, but you can still enjoy them. And Amazon actually redid, made some new Thunderbirds seasons. I'll let you guys judge that. And of course, my kids growing up loved that Thunderbirds movie. We watched it over and over and over. With was it Bill Paxton was in that one? And
which one?
Good cast. The Thunderbirds movie, the live action
Oh yeah,
movie.
he was in that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of the ones like kids would put it. They had that and Ghostbusters. I think they watched every day after school. So they really love that. So
Snail Messiah, I'm sorry for your loss, buddy. He lost a friend of his.
I'm so sorry.
very sorry.
Indeed, an honor to know him. He was more than a man. Incidentally, to anyone who were in Vietnam, one of the strongest warriors died a few days ago. Jim Miller. It was indeed an honor to know him. He was more of a man than I can ever dream to be. Well, tribute to him there. So, so sorry for your loss, buddy.
Yeah,
So sorry for your loss.
Good people. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And we appreciate him here. Jerry is pronounced Jerry. Yep. Remember Jerry and the
Jerry,
yeah. I've always said Jerry for Jerry Anderson. Hello, our buddy Jerry at good night, Ace Cast Iron.
Good night, Ace.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks
for being here. Great to see you, bud.
Be seeing you.
Oh, you gonna put dialogue on that? No.
No, I didn't show that dialogue.
Yeah, be careful. So
No,
that's the
I didn't clip it.
psychiatrist, everyone?
No, I didn't clip it. For that reason, I didn't clip it.
Okay.
I knew that was couldn't show that.
So I think I should probably do my notes before we get too far away from it all.
Yep.
Yeah, do your notes there because we can.
I put that on, so I assumed you didn't mean it yet.
So I kind of knew that
the slideshow. I guess we're kind of okay. It's not Paramount or something, but I guess I'm just I'm weary.
Sorry. Yep.
That's all right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Be careful. Don't get us
demonetized. Well, it's very slow.
I don't even know who would report it. Who owns this? But I don't think it's anybody big.
No.
Anyway, that guy there to the right, he was in the first episode of Blake 7, and another guy, him right there. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, number one.
Okay,
I'm gonna go
so
take some medicine. You guys handle it. No,
okay, you got
Okay.
it. Okay, so because
the helm.
Computer Fair has no Wikipedia, and there's no information on it online, and the summaries are garbage on IMDb, I sort of did like a hybrid notes where I was sort of like saying what was happening and then also some commentary, like I do on Saturday Night Star Trek. Only there's a little bit more of the summary involved in this one. So sorry, folks, but I just wanted to, with the lack of summary, I thought you might appreciate it. So we have a beautiful practical effects opening. We have the lunar module landing. I absolutely love the lunar module landing. It is so beautiful to look at. I love these practical effects. And then Colonel Freeman arrives. Gay Ellis offers her report. Alex says Straker wants her professional opinions on their upcoming changes to tech policy and procedures. She and Straker have the same ideas without discussing them, and Alex mentions this to her. Nina and Sid declare yellow alert. Interceptors deploy. Sid then calls red alert. Alien flies into Interceptor 1. It's a kamikaze mission, killing the astronaut and destroying the interceptor. Straker wants a full debriefing with the surviving astronauts and Gay Ellis. The UFO got through, and it's in Canada, and so the hunt commences. Gay arrives in plain clothes with the astronauts to face a grilling from Straker. Skydiver heads to the Atlantic. Sid has found the UFO. Bradley shares a smoke with the doctor. I just think it's so cool. I remember when we all used to smoke in hospitals, and here we have Bradley having a cigarette with his psychiatrist in the hospital. It reveals the psychiatric training that Mark Bradley has undergone as an elite astronaut and pilot. And Ellis goes through the same thing, and it's very Vulcanian. The training is very Vulcanian, so it's quite dynamic. They have to process images on a screen. Oh, Mark's showing that to you right now. Eye-hand coordination, rigorous psychological and aggressive psychological questioning. And then we cut to Pete. I love Pete. Pete gets into Sky One. Of course, Sky One is launched from Skydiver. So Skydiver gets into position and launches Pete up. Pete hits it immediately because, of course, it's Pete. But it's still airborne. This is one of these omniceptors that just won't die. It's discovered medically that Bradley and Ellis have feelings for each other. Shadow mobilizes a ground search. It's great to see all of the paraphernalia out on display. We see those lovely tanks. They look a little bit like Cybertruck. They're totally cool. I absolutely love the windshield perspective shots from the mobile vehicles. I love that the Andersons did this. They decided to put a windshield up in front of the camera so the models feel that much more real. And so those windshield perspective shots from the mobile vehicles are just chef's kiss. The UFO fires on Mobile 3, destroying it. It's up to Bradley on foot. They take an alien alive. They have barrier compound in the hair. So they have to worry about the amount of absorption of this fluid that suspends them. It's so cool. And then, of course,
because they breathe a liquid. They breathe a liquid, right?
They do,
Yes.
but and then they're putting this barrier compound in the hair. So they're trying to control the amount of absorption. Then Straker does the unthinkable. He uses a truth serum, and unfortunately, the alien dies. Because of this, and because Straker is listening to this very, very adamant psychiatrist, and he's listening to these computer printouts, he really loves and trusts Gay. He really loves and trusts Mark Bradley. So he resigns. He just says to Straker, "I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore." And then we see Gay with no makeup in a cafe out with Mark, and they're obviously exploring this idea that they're a couple. Oh my gosh, Gay Ellis is gorgeous without even a slight amount of makeup. The woman is drop dead, 10 out of 10 gorgeous.
Yeah.
You keep saying she's going with Mark. I'm getting excited here. I'm gonna be in trouble.
Can computers accurately predict feelings and outcomes? Gay Ellis's call saved lives, but Ellis and Brad are I put Brad. I don't know why I put Brad. Oh, Bradley. I just forgot to put the LY. But Ellis and Bradley are in love. Straker is convinced it won't affect their judgment. Straker returns them to duty on Moonbase. And Straker likes all of this, by the way. Straker likes that he has to go on this journey. You could see that he's enjoying it once he's processed it all, because he's such an amazing colonel. He is such an amazing person to be in charge. Like, he is, he's such a good guy. He's like Captain Kirk, but only for the moon. And then, of course,
I have these slides up. Sorry, I just want to say, here's like his emotion count was 0.48 paranormal, but hers stress factor is 1.28. So that's the stress test revealing that maybe there's something there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just want to say thank you to Cardinal Sin, by the way, for the 199 super sticker. Cardi, good to see you. Hope you had a good birthday celebration, buddy. Good to see you here, and hello to our welcome to our wonderful friend Lisa. Lisa, good to see you. Good to see you. Go ahead, continue.
And of course, Alec, he doesn't resign. So, and Straker basically said to him that he wouldn't accept his resignation anyways. I love that Alec and Straker make up at the end. And so, because of the themes that are explored here, because it is wonderful science fiction, it's not just the trappings of science fiction, it's true science fiction. Should we trust computers? What computers reveal about us? This emergent psychiatry, all of this beautiful paraphernalia, all these beautiful ships and all these wonderful ideas. And then this really deep dive into how military personnel should behave, and how people who are in charge of billions of lives, how they should behave if they have romantic feelings, toward one another. I just think it's incredible. It's absolutely beautiful. I love, love, love it with all of my heart. So I give this episode an A+++.
And I paused it right there for you, Raquel. You must like that shot on the screen.
Yeah.
There's your guy.
That's my guy.
That's why I love Strakers.
He would have hung out with Kirk.
He would have. I love it. Yes, I give this one an A. It's just amazing. Because again, it's very. Here we have the second episode. Very foundational in laying out what Shadow is, a bit of what Straker is, certainly a bit of what Alec is, and of course, two characters that aren't going to add quite as prominent as especially Straker and even Alec at this point, but still two characters that you need to know about, meaning Gay and Mark, and it does just a wonderful job of that. I love how Straker's just so cool. It's like it is a Kirk type of coolness where, here's Alec about to walk out of the door of him, and he's not showing any emotion. Straker just tells him, yeah, well, turns out that if Gay had not done what she did, that two of the pilots would have been killed. She
made the right call. Yeah,
just puts it out there with no emotion all over it, no drama, no histrionics, lays it out, which you didn't see that coming the first time you're watching that episode. It's like he just because you're expecting him just to go by the book and just go by the computer, then he just doesn't. And I love that about it. That, again, it's just a very solid foundation to the first episode, getting us going, because they don't mind taking their time, laying things out for the future, and yet being compelling while doing it with characterization, writing, and just it's now going back. It makes it even better because you remember when you were a kid watching this, you didn't quite understand. You would watch Star Trek or you would watch this and you were watching adults. Yeah, look, I'm a childish kid. Of course, I'm a kid at heart. But the thing is, when I watch my heroes, I don't need them to act like me, and be silly like me all the time.
No.
Which a lot of modern day writing, if you look the writing now in any of these so-called adult characters, they all act like children. They talk like children. Even though, look, I don't mind us hanging around on a podcast talking like children, of course, because we're having fun. But when my heroes and my characters that I love, whether it's Blake Seven, Star Trek, Doctor Who, whomever, not all of them are a bunch of frivolous idiots like they are
you don't want
in
to
a
hear
certain show.
One of your favorite characters is out of the comfort zone because they ate macaroni and cheese.
Exactly.
Like, wow, I can't wait for you to be the captain of my starship.
The way they speak like infantile children on a certain show right now that's airing that everyone's going nuts for example, with filth all over it. These people are professionals. Doesn't mean they don't have a sense of humor, but they're professionals. They do their job, and it's so much. This level of writing is so much above the crap in 2023. It makes your head spin. So yeah, it's a beautiful show, like you say, number one, and it's a great show. And
it is.
The aura,
I wish I would have had it when I was young. If I would have had it when I was young, oh my gosh, could you imagine what a psychotic UFO fan I would be? I would be as rabid for UFO as Star Trek, the original series. I mean,
You'd be dyeing your hair purple to this day.
Listen, in the last 2 years, I guess it's around 2 years that I've been falling in love with this show. It feels so good to me, and there's nothing like it in the world. I can watch it over and over and over again, just like TOS. I can't do that with anything else. It's just so beautiful. It's so fresh. It's the freshest.
100%. And the nice thing too, echoing what Clobberin Time said, the aura of the characters, they've got a presence, a gravitas. It's a serious deal here. It's not hey, let's just shoot up the aliens or have fun. They know how serious this is because the Earth is under attack, and everything is top secret too. That's the other thing that we didn't mention again. But the base for Shadow is under this. Of course, you see in the opening, is underground below this Hollywood studio.
Harrington Straker,
between under motion picture studio. So it's all top secret. So they can't even tell their loved ones or their friends what they're doing, and no one knows that there's an alien invasion or a war between these aliens who are obviously hostile. They're not ET coming in peace. So everything is taken very seriously, and there's none of these stupid quips between characters, and they treat each other with intelligence and respect. And of course, look, you had an interracial relationship or hinted at here, but who not made a big deal of, other than that one line in the episode which touched on that, but none of the other characters mention anything like that, which you'd hope. It's a very Star Trek future in terms of that, where you're not focusing on that aspect. It's just, we're professionals here, we're going to do our job. But the psychiatrist was checking for that though too, which was interesting. So not to say it's totally eliminated, but it's they're all acting as equals and professionals here. Maybe the women wearing the purple wigs might throw you off for a little while, but then you get used to it. But other than that, they're treated as equals too, like you've talked about Raquel and the brains of all the calculations, and if Gay didn't do her job correctly, more pilots, interceptor pilots would have died. So that's the kicker. At the end of the episode, maybe the computer doesn't always know best. And we're getting now more and more with this artificial intelligence, Chat GPT. I should ask ChatGPT to review the computer affair by UFO and see what it says. But it's scary now too, in terms of you could have all the articles are being written now. It's been happening for years. Sports articles, especially, or financial articles, are written by bots. And you can kind of tell that they're written by bots, but it's going to change a lot of work for people too, and down the road jobs. So this episode from the 60s is actually touching on all this artificial intelligence in a very intelligent way. Pun intended.
It's remarkable, isn't it? That's why I love it so much. And the accuracy in the futurism, the accuracy in the sci-fi. It's just absolutely cherry. It's just cherry.
So does anyone else? Mark, did you rate it? Or?
Well, I'd give it an A+ as well. I just love this episode. I think it's one of the standouts out of all the episodes. I mean, most of these episodes in the show are very, very good. But what I love about this, and is why you had to, I think it makes sense to watch it second. I don't, they had it what 21st and the aired at 21st, but this is really sets up the foundation for the show, and you really get to see, you know, past that first episode, you get to see how Shadow operates and how the moon base operates, and get to know some of the personalities better. So it's a really critical episode. So I can see why, you know, everyone else why they said watch this one second. So it's
well, yeah, and the thing is that you have to put this in socio-historical context, right? So we're talking about a show that's developed in the late 60s, and so it's also important that we demonstrate that with these women having these purple wigs, they're kind of like Freemasons. This is something elite. This is something different. This is something special, and that we have an episode like this so that people can understand that there was a woman who was a lieutenant back when women weren't even allowed in the military, who's in charge of this moon base. And so, you know, it's easy to say, oh, I don't find this interesting or whatever, but it's important to look at the groundbreaking work that is being done with this show. This is the most diverse show. I would compare it only to Star Trek, the original series, in its sincere diversity, and nothing insincere about it, to the point where it's just absolutely beautiful. I love Pete. I love Mark. I love all the guys, and there's no difference. Everyone here, it's a very Uhura moment. It's a very Uhura moment, and it's so sincere and beautiful. It's so much fun. It's just great. And like, look at Nina. Like, is there anybody more beautiful than Nina? No.
Yeah. We'll get to see her more down the road. Yeah.
Wooby dooby. Wooby dooby.
Yeah.
Herc's here.
Yeah, I'm going to. Let's just say some hellos. We've got some people trickling in. Herc 130, good to see you there, buddy. Welcome. Thank you. Keely Chow, roll that tide, buddy.
Keely
and
Chow!
The Comic Relief Crusader. What's up, dude?
Hello.
So I guess, any of you, if you want to give your rating, anything you would like to say about this episode, I mean, if you hadn't seen it, that's fine. But if you would like to, I'll answer a couple questions while we're waiting on that. And because Chris Persia asked earlier, I have a question. How much do you think the Interceptor influenced the design of the Vipers and Battlestar Galactica? I think it's possible, but I mean, I've never read anything that could confirm or deny it one way or the other, but there's certainly a nice look to it there. So you never know, Chris. It's possible.
I think it's an interesting question, because one thing I've learned, especially being friends with Mark, so I'm not a Jerry Anderson person. I don't know anything about Jerry Anderson. I didn't watch all those puppet shows when I was a kid and all that stuff. I don't know anything about it. I only know about this program. And I think that the ships are beyond amazing. The model work being done on this definitely rivals Star Trek, the original series. And it's been my understanding, since I've been hanging out with Mark, who is a Thunderbirds lunatic. He's beyond fan. And Clobby, who's been teaching me about this stuff, is that all of Jerry Anderson's stuff is like this. So his practical models, his practical effects are like really, really incredible. So the idea that someone who is a master of this type of thing, of building these ships and these models and making multiple shows out of them, and that influencing another show, I definitely think it's possible. And I think it's an interesting thing to discuss. Very interesting. And I love you, Chris Persia.
Quite possible.
Catmandu.
Catman, aka D. Monitors. Good to see you, sir. And Brian Hepburn. Hello there, buddy. And
hey, Brian.
Captain James C. Slowaker says, is the front of the Interceptor one big missile? Yes. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Certainly
is.
And,
thank you, Hark. By the way, thank you, Hark. Appreciate you.
Hark,
here's a private to celebrate. And thank you. We have a new member, right? Did you say?
Well, that was a member chat, Snail Messiah,
member
for 6 months, and Herc was a member for 1 month. So thank
we have
you,
another
Herc.
one?
And we had here's a $5 to celebrate.
So what was the one after Herc? What was the one after Herc?
Snail Messiah just said,
Snail.
Yep.
Please stay on. Thank you so much. Hey, Oliver Billamonte, good to see you. Always like to stay on. We like to stay on top of saying hello.
Yep,
People pop in. So, did you say you were saying something? Or?
Well, I was gonna say, I think, I mean, I think it was influenced. You know, can't say 100%, but I'm sure it's possible that they saw that. And I think what's always interesting about sci-fi, they always try to have the good guys and bad guys have different shapes for their crafts, so they're easier to see on screen. So if you watch most movies, you know, the Battlestar Galactica, the UFO, the good guys are, you know, narrow, kind of like missile type ships. You know, the X-wing has, you know, of course the you know, the X, but it's very long, sleek. And the bad guys are the TIE fighters, or the UFOs, and this are actually, you know, flying saucers. Battlestar Galactica's got the you know, the Cylons have they're almost like bat type, you know, oval ships, and again the Colonial Vipers are long and narrow. So I think part of the design is you want to differentiate that just for practicality on the screen, so that the viewer can see, you know, the difference in the ship. And I'm sure they kind of anyone who was a fan of sci-fi, you know, that time period was watching Jerry Anderson, the Thunderbirds, and Captain Scarlet, and all those shows. So
his ships are amazing.
Love that hardware. Amazing stuff. Yeah. So there you go. A lot of fun. Great episode, of course, and long way. Got 24 more to go.
I wish we had 100. And
me too.
You know, like, it's just so upsetting that you know.
A radon, it's a Radon Clobby channel from the Fringe. By the way, a big congrats to the great Cardinal Sin, who he did was this number 100 of the Fringe tonight? Did I hear that right? I think it was number 100 of he does, of course, Into the Fringe.
Nice.
A show that he's been doing for a while now. And I think it hit number 100. Am I wrong, Cardinal? Did I see that earlier? Because I've been running around. I haven't been home that much until earlier. So anyway, but a big shout out to the great Cardinal Sin.
He has he minted coins. Did you hear about this?
Wow. No.
Yeah, Cardi, Gil Babel. He minted coins. And like I believe they're real coins. So yeah, after this program, you should go and check it out and amazing, see, because Gil, our very own Cardinal Sin, Cardi, he's cooking some coins. They're really cool.
Wow.
Nice. Excellent. 100. Well, that's greatness, bud. Congratulations.
Way to go. Yep. Cardinal has his own currency. Yep. Oh, that's them in the restaurant together. Yep. Look at that cool set design there. All those 60s colors.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. 100 in the can. Congrats, buddy. Hope you had a good time at your big birthday bash last Saturday night.
Yeah, and isn't there a cafe scene at the end?
This is it. Yep.
I thought it was a cafe. I guess it's a restaurant. Well, I watched it really late. But look at her. Look at her.
I could hardly tell it was her.
That woman is stunningly gorgeous. You would wake up in the morning and you would roll over and look at that lady and you would be like, oh, wow.
Oh,
she's beautiful. Hubba.
Oh, God, yeah. Love her.
Yeah.
This is an interesting line here. Why don't you ask them with all the answers even now about computers?
Okay.
They tell us what we're going to think before we even know ourselves. So I know what I think with their.
Yeah. Oh, okay, great. On the 100th episode, there was the great Lord Doomcock and the great Gary Ambrosia on there. Fantastic. Love those guys. Love those guys. Fantastic. Excellent. Well, here we go. Our buddies. Way to go.
Yeah.
And I do have some trivia from the Amazon X-ray viewing. So let me look at that. Or
you know what I want? I want the $250 book.
What book?
The UFO book.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell my friend to go check McKay's bookstore to see if it's there.
It's $250.
Yeah, but it won't be $250 maybe in the used bookstore.
Is it old?
Have you seen it?
I did show the picture last week on the show, remember?
It's so beautiful. I love that book.
So here's a couple of
know.
The Amazon, if you watch it on Amazon, they have that X-ray and trivia.
Yeah.
So these are minor goofs. I'll just read a few of these. So audio, visual, and synchronized. No sound effect when Captain Carlin pulls back the control stick. Who cares? Goofs, revealing mistake. The original script had the episode taking place in 1985, but it was changed to 81. However, the ending scene with Lieutenant Ellis and Mark Bradley drinking. Oh, Mark spells his name wrong there. He spells with a K. Drinking a bottle of champagne was 1984 vintage. Well, that's a fun little, the label said 84. You can't even see that on the screen. There were 2 deleted scenes, appearance by Norma Ronald as Straker's secretary, Miss Eland, and most of Alec Freeman's inspection of Moonbase. More unsynchronized audio. That's okay. Who cares? The episode takes place in 1980. Although aired near the end of the series run, this was the second episode made and should be viewed as such. So that's what, if you do.
Larry,
Thanks, Michael.
Larry, would you do me a favor, honey? Would you please look up, I forget, is ISBN 10 in the States or is it ISBN 13?
That's above my pay grade.
Okay, I'll just give you the ISBN 10, Larry. It is, and then you can obviously transfer it to the US. It is 1903111165X. The number again is 1903111165X. Mark, yeah, could you show the picture of it, Mark?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it now. Yep. So the complete book.
The hardcover starts at $513.60 American. And then the paperback, of course, is $245.29 American.
Oh boy.
Larry, you probably have it.
Larry, Raquel would like to know your address, please.
I have Larry's address.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do.
Larry, lock your doors tonight.
Yeah,
so
Larry's
that's
my
the
bud.
book. Yep.
Lock on coordinates.
So that's I'll ask my buddy to check the sci-fi section at McKay's.
If he could get the hardcover or the paperback, oh, it would be amazing.
Now this book here, the complete, is this a different version or is it the same one?
I don't know.
Revised and expanded. Chris Bentley. Oh, maybe.
Because one has.
Oh, that's $500. Yeah.
Yeah, but one has the original
907
moon base on it. So the one with the moon base on it is the OG. So that's the original.
That's the first
gangsta.
one.
But I don't
this
know
is
if
the
the
second
hardcover.
edition, probably.
Well, is it the second edition or is it just
Well, it says
the hardcover?
revised and expanded edition here.
Okay, because there is a hardcover, and sometimes they do a different cover from the hardcover to the paperback.
Mm-hmm.
Or like that Star Trek compendium that kept coming out new version every couple of years, like new and
I got the very
new and
first
expanded.
One.
Yeah,
I remember I got the very first one. I like that book.
It's such a. I want this beautiful, beautiful, sexy book, the complete book of Jerry Anderson's UFO.
Never give up hope.
Well, that would make a great gift, I'm sure, right? If your hubby is listening, right?
Oh.
Don't buy Raquel diamonds. She just wants this UFO.
He
book.
already knows. I feel so bad for him. It's like, hey, do you want to go to the bookstore? Yeah.
What are we doing tonight? Going to the bookstore again.
I literally have
again.
the greatest husband who ever lived.
So unfortunately, yeah, that's.
Oh, Michael Beacom said that there's a Japanese printing of it as well. So be careful while browsing online.
Oh, you don't want to buy the Japanese
Ay,
one?
ay, ay, ay,
Unless you
ay.
can read
There it is
Japanese.
right there.
No, I can't read Japanese.
Let me check Fleabag.
They got a technical manual too.
What?
See that right there? Up there, the technical manual. Look.
Where? Let me see.
Mark's got it right next to it.
Oh, and it has
Yeah.
an omniceptor on it.
Click on that.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
Look at that. Wow.
Only starts at 227 schmackrolls.
I wonder if some of these are on, available online and Google Books or something. Or usually they're not. Here's one for. It's from United Kingdom. We got to get Retro Dicky to get it for us. It's $88 in the UK.
I wonder how RD is.
$33 shipping estimate from UK.
The good old global geek gang.
I see him tweet every now and then. I miss old retro.
Me too. I love RD.
Oh, the visual effects book. Well, here, I'll pop this over here if you want to look.
Oh, Fleabay.
Yeah.
Look at that. Ooh. What kind of condition is it?
Does it matter? You can get your hands on it.
No,
I mean,
it actually doesn't matter. Even
United
if it
Kingdom.
didn't even have a spine, I would
That's the United Kingdom.
probably take it.
$150 from UK. I wonder if Retro has this. I bet you he does, knowing him. 158.
Might.
248. So not that many.
Woo.
And then you've got Shadowmobile, the Shadow. Oh, that's cool. Little.
I mean, come on.
Lead
It's
figure.
not dollars. Some of them are dollars, but
Yeah.
No, those are dollars. Doesn't Fleabay do that now? I think Fleabay does it the country of origin now.
Yeah, so they converted, but like this is
they converted for you.
136. Yep.
Yeah.
So
no.
not that many choices, but here we go. Visual guide from Japan. $200. Yep.
Visual guide from Japan. Excuse me.
That'd be pretty cool.
Click on that. Excuse me. Yep. Oh.
So even though you can't read it, there's probably some awesome pictures in it.
Hey. That's me.
Love her. She's wonderful. They all are though.
I was wondering how you got how you put that outfit on. They showed us how it came on and off. So.
Yep. It's super cool.
And then here's the back of it. Oh, look,
no,
it's got the shadow.
The shadow, no.
What a beautiful
So that'd be a
book.
cool book to, even if you can't translate, read it. So it's $213. Yep. So when you win the lottery,
yeah.
Well, here's one, 150 free shipping.
I think I'll win it tomorrow night, so you're good to cover. Decided to go ahead and win it.
There we go. Yep. So that one's a little bit cheaper.
Wow. Yeah.
Look at it in Tokyo. Yep. Only $140.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Beauty,
cool.
beauty.
Cool stuff. There you are.
Yeah. Enabling.
Enabling time.
Yeah. Is there even a hardcover on here?
Well, let me check that first one on the top and see what.
Yeah.
I don't know if it says it's a hardcover, but
I have a friend that probably has that book too.
So
shocked if he doesn't have. Friend, I'm shocked if he doesn't have it.
Is it Minimus?
And if he doesn't, it's only because it wasn't over here in the States. And I don't know if that's true. No, it's a different one. Minimus doesn't have it. Fisherman doesn't have it, but.
Are you serious right now? That one's only how many pounds? 74 pounds?
It's a paperback, right?
Yeah, that's paperback.
It looks like a hardcover to me from the side view.
The side doesn't look like a hardcover.
That looks like a hardcover.
It does. It might be. You're right.
Maybe.
I'm going to look on Abe's books.
Yeah, that's a hardcover.
Description is.
Look at it hanging off the desk. Look at the way it hangs off the desk. It's a hardcover.
So it's 75 plus 38.
Sean Carter. What's up, Sean Carter?
Sean Carter from Mars.
She said it, not me.
$152
about you being from Mars. What?
I just did a video on this. I got that. If anyone wants to give me $152 for mine,
what?
You can. The Spider-Man figure.
Spider-Man. Oh yeah.
So this is a very cool figure with Jay Jonah and Spidey. It's magnetic Spidey. Of course, you should set Spidey up much better there. So I got that. But if anyone wants to give me $152,
you'll take that. You don't sell any of your stuff.
No, I don't. Well, I have two of them though. Don't tell the wife. I do have two of those.
Oh.
I don't know how I ended up with two. It's on the wall right behind me right now.
I just found the hardcover in near fine condition on Abe's books. Near fine. For hardcover for $305.12 US.
Crap.
Wow.
Oh, that's what you get for it being that like a super popular show over the years. You're kind of fading into a little bit of obscurity.
Why?
Sadly.
People suck.
I don't know. It's not my fault.
People suck.
Yeah.
Why don't people like good things?
At least you don't have to worry about a G-Ram remake.
Yes,
this one's pretty relatively affordable, though. I mean, this one's not bad for.
The thing about something like this is they'll just rip it off rather than remake it, so you don't have to worry about them calling it.
I would squirm and I would be so upset. I would be horrified.
Well, they even did it to the first one, so they'll remake anything. Captain Scarlet.
Yeah, it's just I just fell down a rabbit hole. What am I going to do now? I mean, it's worth it. I mean, what if you don't buy it? Then you don't get to have it.
All right, Sean. Starlog episode guides editions are good too. Yeah, I have those Starlog episode guide editions, those books. I love those, man. Larry from the 70s and 80s. I love Starlog.
Yeah, I wish I would have.
Just saying it's the paperback.
Oh, Starlog was just, well, we've looked at it here before. That's such a great mag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Larry was saying that the Starlog has great little summaries of each episode.
UFO. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They have two different books called TV episode guides. They have a lot of different shows in there. I'm not sure if either volume 1 or 2 has UFO, but it's one of them. One of the two does have it, amongst other things. Man, now, when, like I said, I had a buddy of mine that got a few, 6 or 7 episodes on a crappy VHS tape of this back in the 80s, because we were trying to find them. You just couldn't get it. And no one had recorded that many of them. This is, like I said, the early 80s. And eventually, early mid-80s, he found somebody. They weren't even selling bootlegs back then. And no one was ever showing the show. They weren't showing it in very many places in reruns. So one guy found it, had a couple. So we watched a few of them back in the 80s. It was cool, but it was tough to see it. It wasn't great copies. And that's that. We didn't really get to see it. I don't know how long it was after that before it finally got put out, where you could watch it on VHS and then DVD and such. But it hadn't been on that long. Because it used to be pretty obscure to get this thing.
Yeah, it wasn't easy to find. Yeah. And
no.
A lot of people didn't.
Not till the bootleggers.
Yeah. So.
And then the bootleggers, they were just selling videos of people who recorded them. Because, back then in syndication, this was shown in syndication, but not everywhere. So you'd have I remember I was seeing the TV guide, not just this show, many different shows. The TV guide used to have channels that you couldn't reach with your antenna, but they were fairly close by.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd say, oh no, this show's playing on that channel, and you mess with the antenna, and you barely get it, whatever, and you can't get it at all. And a lot of times there were a lot of shows that I wanted to see, but they weren't on a local. But somewhere, when VCRs started getting bigger into the 80s and into the 90s, people would start recording stuff, and then that's how you could trade it and different things like that. And it was a mess, though. So it was tough to get something like UFO unless you played it near your house, and then at your home in your city, and you were able to record it. That's that. Or and not that. Hey, Retro Nerd Girl, good to see you.
Hey, Retro Nerd Girl.
Hey, Retro Nerd Girl.
Love seeing you, my dear.
Oh, Chris Persia's leaving. Good night, Chris.
Oh, good night, Chris.
Mwah, mwah.
Have a good night, buddy.
Honey.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, bro. So it was tough to get older stuff like this back then. We take it for granted now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. Yeah, and this is for fun. I did Chat GDP to ask it. I said, "Please review UFO," and they got that right. It's the third episode of the first. Well, the third episode of the first season. That's wrong. And then
it's wrong.
Plot. Look at the plot. So it does the plot. And then they said, plot is reasonably engaging with some suspenseful moments and a few twists and turns. Performances of the cast are generally solid, although the dialogue can be a bit clunky. What? The character's not particularly well developed. Well,
oh, brother. Barf.
Oh, brother.
What's that from?
Oh, Miles. Oh, Chat.
What's that from?
Chat. This is the Chat GDP.
Suck it, GPT.
The AI. The AI, yep. In summary, while the computer affair may not be the most memorable episode of UFO, it's an enjoyable and well-executed installment of the series that should appeal to fans of classic sci-fi TV. Okay, well. And they did.
So Big Nothing Burger didn't even say anything about the episode. Just gave it a Nothing Burger review that you could give to any sci-fi show. So,
well, they did mention
Chat GPT,
but that's the shin kicks and as Dave says, yeah.
It's almost. Think about it. It's almost
inconceivable. 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 You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Let's see what it thinks the best Star Trek episodes.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, well, I checked that. Yeah, so City on Edge of Forever.
That's easy.
Well, I mentioned Inner Light, In the Pale Moonlight, and The Visitor. And then they talked about City on the Edge of Forever. But this is stuff that wouldn't take you long to look up. But see how it's written, though. It sounds like a person is writing this, I have to say. So it's really interesting. Yeah, where they're going from him. They're from a planet called Gornar in the Beta Hydrae system.
No, that's made up of fans.
That's made up of fans, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was never.
It's crap. I'm telling you.
It might have been in a book or something, but
maybe in a book.
Crap.
Yeah.
Crap. Where's Zathras when you
I
need
thought
him?
that was fun. Yeah, it was fun to look at, though. Yeah.
Okie dokie, Eric.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a cool 500 for a book, but sure wish I did.
You might one day, because I might win the lottery. I'm decided to win the lottery tomorrow night. You think I should? What's your advice?
Please. Can you win the lottery?
Anybody have any advice on that? Should I win it tomorrow night or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you probably should win.
It's $200 million. I don't know if I can handle that sort of thing. But.
Can you do? Can you time travel with the numbers and?
Maybe. If Captain Affinity lets me.
I want to win the lottery.
Now, if I win it, I mean, I don't know. Want it ruin my life?
No.
Oh, too late for that. Never mind. That's fine. Mine can be ruined. Yeah. But what would I do with the money? Then have to take it in.
Boring, right? To have all that money.
Yeah, I would take it in and say, "Give me that money that you owe me for this lottery ticket," and they'll say, "Sure. Yeah, you just go home and we'll send it to you." Is that how it works? It's all kind of sounds like it'd be really complicated to collect.
Well, they put it in your bank account for you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think one bank account can take.
Unless you accept I think you have a choice between the full payout.
The lump sum, of course, you got to get the lump sum. Yeah.
You can do the lump sum, or you can receive an amount monthly.
No, yeah, but I'd go for the lump sum. Thing is, they put it in your bank account. I mean, that's a little big of a bank account, goes from like 35 cents to 200 million bucks. Of course, they take about half.
Well, the government's always a big winner of the lottery, right? Because the government in the U.S. gets half.
Gets all the taxes.
Congrats to the U.S.
I don't even
government.
want to talk about U.S. taxes. Okay, I sell books in the U.S. and I don't make any money because of all the royalty schemes and taxes. I'm good.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating. But 250 million? That's enough for CLOBBYCon.
I was thinking more along the hookers, but okay, yeah. Sure. Only a few.
Clobbering times. Hey.
Clobby,
like a green
I ain't
Orion.
married. I'm not
Clobby,
married.
what's gotten into you?
I want a green Orion slave girl. Would you say it was worth the man's soul?
I would make that. I've always wanted to do a Star Trek movie theater. You do the Enterprise Bridge with a view screen, and then that would be your movie theater. But I need a really big place for that.
Remember the bloopers? With Spock looking through the his Viewmaster, as I always like to call it, and he's watching Vina, and they're playing that music. You never saw those bloopers?
Don't blame him.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm serious. I'd be the worst rich person in the world. I wouldn't be buying boats and houses, and I would buy a really expensive truck. I got to admit, but other than that, I'd be spending on geek crap.
Look at Max.
One house.
Raquel, according to your last royalty statement, because it was so bad that I took a picture of it and showed everyone, Max says, Raquel, according to your last royalty statement, I think you owe me some money.
Wow.
GT Kirk says, you get way more overtime and interest if you take the lump sum. However, those that take the lump sum are far more likely to end up completely broke or dead versus those who choose installments.
Yeah, but I still want, what's wrong with that? I don't see the downside. Either dead or broke. Because remember, even if you do go broke, you had to get that way somehow. That means you spent a lot, so you had fun. Just saying.
It said most people actually go broke, unfortunately, too.
Isn't it 5 years?
When they win the lottery.
They lose it all in 5 years.
Fun 5 years it must be though, right?
Yeah.
Well,
250 million is way too much money.
Well, you only get half of it, but about less than half of it, really. But yeah, and then I'd be giving a lot of it away to people. I'd have very some of that dumbass would be giving away a lot, but yeah, no doubt that I wouldn't have any fun now. Just saying, but
Yeah.
Don't worry, it'll all be legal. I'm pretty sure most of the things I got planned are legal, but I'll check before I do them. I promise. Yes, Susan Oliver or Batgirl.
I think we would have to do if Clobby won the 250 million. I think we would have to do the ClobbyCon.
Oh, ClobbyCon would happen now. There's no question about it.
Yeah, we'd have to do the ClobbyCon.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. It's gonna. Yeah. I mean, that will definitely be in the cards.
Mm-hmm.
A ClobbyCon for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you'll buy me all the sea bugs that I want, right?
Oh, you can. Yeah. Sure.
Gross.
Well, down in New Orleans, I mean, God, that's the
no. We're not
crawfish
staying
and
in New Orleans. We're taking Clobby
oysters.
somewhere nice. We're gonna take Clobby to like Bora Bora or Tahiti, or we're gonna take him to Jamaica, or it's where he can go and enjoy himself and just eat all the beautiful food, or we'll take him to Europe or something. We'll and then we'll send you away to go and eat whatever you want to eat, but you can't eat in front of Clobby.
You wouldn't mind that. God, I love the oysters down there. They're great.
As much as we tease them about the gross stuff, I don't care as long as I don't have to smell it. I don't give a crap.
You don't have to eat it, right?
Yeah.
Except for sea tongues. Like, I eat fish, and even I look at them and I'm like, what are you thinking?
ClobbyCon with the George Takei in the dunk tank. Yeah, that'll work.
Can we do that? Do you think
if you pay him enough money, he might say
I
yes.
think he could.
And then we get Shatner to be the one to knock him into it.
Oh, that would be fab.
Say, well, this is for charity, George and Bill. George gets onto the dunk tank thingy, and there are only a few piranhas, not enough, not many to hurt him. And Bill gets to throw, just saying.
A few piranhas.
Does Lisa live in New Orleans? She said, "Oh boy,
Let's
the
see.
gauntlet's been thrown down."
New Orleans. Let's hey. Yep, New Orleans. Are you from New Orleans, Lisa? Because I do live close to it. So you're definitely invited to ClobbyCon.
No, I love New Orleans, Lisa. It's that I want to take Clobby somewhere hot and fun, and I don't know. He hasn't done much traveling. I would like to take him traveling.
I've never been anywhere. I'm never going to end up going anywhere. Let's face it. I would though.
One day I hope that we'll take you somewhere and we'll go and have fun. Ooh, Lisa's in Wisconsin.
Oh, that's cool. That means you're getting some nice, cool weather right now, and we're burning up down here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if you're getting bad weather there, but I'm just kidding.
Wisconsin, you're practically Canadian, Lisa.
There you go.
They like cheese there too, right?
Right. She's practically Canadian.
Isn't Wisconsin cheese and cow country? I think. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing.
I've never been anywhere though. Only time I've even been out of the country was Mexico as a kid when I was very young, but other than that, that's not the same, So I've been a little bit around the country. I've done a lot of long distance driving all over the place, but it's not the same.
Well, maybe we'll take you to maybe one day we'll all meet in Hawaii, because Hawaii is very temperate. It's like the average temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. You'd have to ask one of your devices, but it's very temperate there. It's not hot there. It's not cold there. The food is delicious. I love Hawaii. Hawaii is awesome.
My ultimate geek plan is if I did win all that stupid money, other than settling down, getting a house, and then trying to get into decent shape and stuff, one of my plans would be to buy a big old bus and then jump in there and find any geeks who could find the time. And then I'm going to ride around the country, hitting comic shops and thrift shops and McKay's type stores.
We'd buy out McKay's, go to McKay's. We'd like everything. We'd like it all.
Bookstores, hitting barbecues, and other type of.
It would have to be like a tour bus, though, like a Japanese style tour bus. It's going to be like John
Madden's bus.
Yeah.
Big old
I'd have a trailer for all the action figures on the back.
Yeah, like a serious bus. And then
a monster, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we could have like a U-Haul behind us, just with all the stuff in
Road
it.
trip. And if I'll cut, and you don't have to come to me. I'll pass through your area, and you can jump in and take and ride.
Yay!
You know.
We'll go to Banff and Jasper.
Indeedishness. I used to travel through the Caribbean for a job. I want to know the loneliest place on earth. Wow, is it? This you mean besides my place? A super romantic couples resort when your lady is 13,000 miles. No, I guess so.
Yucky.
I understand. Road tripping, though, I just love it. Every time when I used to, the only thing I've had even close to a vacation in the past 30-something years was when I was able to each year. It's pathetic, but I went to Dragon Con every year, which is in Atlanta, and that's every Labor Day weekend up for about 20-something years straight, except for missing 1 year. And it did get monotonous, and the con got old, but it was really the only thing I could do. So I did it, and it was at least it was a getaway because I was working so much, and it was just a getaway from, I had to use up vacation time somehow, and there was no one else to do. So it was, and then sometimes different friends would go with me. Sometimes I would go see friends there, and the con got old, but the trip now that I haven't been able to do it in about 5 or 6 years, I actually miss just being able to just do that to get out,
Mm-hmm.
So I miss it, and who knows? One of these days,
one of us has to win the lottery because we have to take you to Hawaii.
I mean, see, that's something I wouldn't mind going to, but I like driving everywhere. That's another thing. I ain't flying. I don't like flying.
Madden, right?
No, I can fly. I just don't really. Well, I can't really fit on. They have to put me in the cargo section of airplanes because I can't fit.
Stop it.
So, they have to clear out 5 rows and stuff, and it's just it'd be too expensive. But
you're so bad to yourself. I hate
I hate me. But I love driving, so I like to drive places. Yeah. I mean, somebody put something to the. Yes, like EMH goes all Patrick Bateman. San Diego. I would drive to San Diego in a heartbeat.
JT Kirk wants to know if we can get a Clobberin Time Stanley Cup with poutine in it, or poutine, as they say in Quebec.
That stuff looks good. I just the name kind of throws me off.
Oh yeah, well, it's
poutine,
French.
Is that what you call?
Yeah, in Quebec or Quebec, as some people say, but it's Quebec. They say poutine. It's not like poutine.
With that kind of money, you can drive to Hawaii.
Yeah, the whole Anglo poutine is not correct. It's more like poutine.
Yeah. So, you know what I would do? I've already done it. At least I got to go to 2 places I've always wanted to go. I got to go to the Superman Museum and the NFL Hall of Fame. So, but when I went there, that trip to cut, it was back in 2016. I've told you all about that before. But when I left the Superman Museum to drive to Canton, Ohio, about 10 hours, I guess, between the two. It was I did it. I took a few days earlier before I would go to Dragon Con later that weekend. And I love the Superman Museum. I would love to go back. In fact, I would love to go this June to the Metropolis, to the annual Superman celebration that they have there every year in Metropolis, Illinois. But when I went there, there's one place I was going to go when I was heading to Canton, Ohio, which is the NFL Hall of Fame, which was I loved going to visit that. But in Cleveland, which is about an hour from Canton, the Jerry Siegel house. Jerry Siegel, of course, the original creator of Superman, co-creator with Joe Shuster. They actually give tours at the house he created Superman in. And if you call ahead, they'll let you come in and see it. His desk where he works, and all the other kind of work and all that stuff. And I came this close to doing it, but I got lazy. I said, that's going to take time out of the way, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach him. And I didn't do it. I wish I'd done that. So that's something I would rectify. I'd go do that. That sounds like nothing. Then I go find comic shops in Cleveland, of course, and they got good ones. I love hitting comic shops in other cities.
So where is this in Illinois?
Fun, yeah.
Where's what now?
Where's this in Illinois?
Metropolis, Illinois. It has the Superman Museum. I'm showing pictures of that, haven't I?
Metropolis.
Didn't I show them the other night, Mark?
I think, well, you've shown them before. I don't know if you showed it last night.
Let's see where you are. in relation to Canada. Where are
I showed
you?
these the other night, but I'll show them again. Metropolis, Illinois is like it's at the bottom. It's at the bottom of Illinois.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you didn't get in that one day you were saying, or
What now?
the museum wasn't.
Oh no, I got in there. It was a stupid. The night before that, my GPS took me on a horror ride to get there. I mean,
Wow.
it took me through Friday the 13th ride to get there. I mean, on gravel roads and everything because it was so stupid.
Oh God.
Very close to Nashville, Phil.
Wow. So here's the pictures. Have you seen this, Raquel?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's the stream. It moves. There you go. Look at this place. I mean, it was just Superman heaven. Everyone, if you've not been to this museum in Metropolis, in Illinois, by the way, is anything but a metropolis.
Oh, it's like Greenland and Iceland.
It's
a game.
Yeah,
It's not a metropolis at all.
Fake advertising. What's going on here?
It has a Huddle House. They do have a downtown with a pretty nice
Huddle
park.
House?
Huddle House is kind of like similar to Waffle House type thingy.
Okay.
Yeah, you have Waffle House up there?
No.
Oh, it's a little all night. Oh, I think it's like an all night place that has breakfasty stuff and other types of food throughout the course of the day. But it's like it's hard to explain, but it's nothing. It's a chain. But so to say, Michael. Correction. Okay, 4,000 miles just feels long. Oh, I got you. So you haven't seen these, Raquel? This place. I mean,
No.
only a Superman fan would care, but man, I love it. But every year they have the Superman celebration in June.
It would be way easier for me to just go to New Orleans, though.
Oh no, you don't have to do this. I'm saying
because if I flew to Toronto, like if I flew to TO, it's really far away now that you know that it's the Metropolis, Illinois, because that is very, very south, right?
Yes.
It's almost as south as Knoxville. So
yes,
that is very, very south. It's not like it's up by Chicago. So yeah, it would be better to just fly and see you. And when is that? June?
Well, you can go to you can go to look at Lego set there. You can go to the
that's a nice
shot to the museum any time of the year, but yes, in June they have a
little celebration,
like a big Superman celebration there.
Mm-hmm.
I want that wall statue. Clobbering times of going there. I'd like one of everything.
It's a beautiful building.
It's a beautiful building.
They
Yeah,
did a
that
nice
wall
job,
thing
yeah.
It doesn't even look real. It's very cool.
But it is. Have you seen? Did I already show the statue? The big, they got like a 20-foot statue out there. But yeah, this is
Look at your picture stick in there. Yep.
Yeah. You know, the George Reeves costume had been stolen from there, and it wasn't there when we went there. They just got word that they found it and were getting it back, but it hadn't made it back yet. At that time when I went in 2015.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it is. But they had every other costume. Yeah.
Wow.
So. Yep. There's a toy museum in Oklahoma that I would like to go to as well.
Every time I hear Oklahoma, all I think about is Steve
Oklahoma,
Martin.
Oklahoma.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So
I love that movie.
It's a great movie. It's so funny, that in The Three Amigos. It's just such a good movie. Oklahoma. Not mother.
I had a buddy of mine back in the 80s who had a collection like this. He was mobile. He would bring it to different locations, cons and stuff. It was considered like the second or third biggest Superman collection in the world. And it's probably no match for this museum. In fact, that was so long ago, maybe a lot of his stuff made it into this museum. I think he did some of it. But can you imagine that much paraphernalia?
That's wild.
It's big. It's big. It's pretty considering.
Let's see how much it costs for a plane ticket to go see you right now. Hold on for 1 minute.
Oh, you want to? Not right now. I mean, it's this time of year. I can barely move. It's just crazy weather. Anyway, so there you go, folks. And no one here's been to Metropolis. Yeah.
No.
You know, when you drive from whichever angle you come into the city. Well, city's a strong word. It's like you're entering.
That is a strong word.
You're nearing Metropolis, Illinois, home of Superman.
Ooh, the flights are cheap right now.
Oh my goodness!
How many stops is this? I'm not stopping. I don't need to puddle jump my way there.
Oh Lord. What the hell? What am I looking for? Oh, they have a another place I would like to go is the Toy Museum in Branson. Is that in Branson? World's largest toy museum.
GT Kirk, right? Oh, look, only 8 layovers from Canada to New Orleans. Oh.
You'll eventually get there, right? Yeah.
No, I'm not doing any layovers. I want to flight straight there.
Oklahoma, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. That's the wrong one, dang it.
Why is there a cog on the fog? To prevent him from hurting himself.
Where is that sucker?
Can I go to the bathroom?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, I thought you were asking.
No.
I sure.
I love Steve Martin. He's so funny.
I haven't watched that movie in forever.
It's a good movie. It was so good.
There we go. Have you, Mark? Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh, I've seen every Steve Martin movie. Yeah. He's a star.
Every Steve Martin movie?
I've kind of seen
that one, huh?
I think I have, yeah. I would hope so. Or maybe I didn't see that new Pink Panther thing. I probably didn't see the new Pink Panther one.
Steven says,
Pink Panther?
Oh, no, hell no. Those new ones. I haven't been to that Super Museum yet, but for going to any Comic-Con, visiting that museum is definitely a bucket list. I'll meet you there, buddy. All right, this place here.
Holy smokes.
That's awesome, man.
Look at this place. This is unreal. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, look at this sucker.
Unbelievable.
It's great.
Yep. And if you had the powers of the Flash, you could steal everything in 1 second.
This is driving distance from me. Well,
can you feel this?
No.
North
of Dallas.
So funny.
It's up north of Dallas.
Wax the crap out of it. It's just whack. And he just sits there and he just moves his bottom lip.
This is a preview of how boring it's going to be for you, Raquel, with us doing geek stuff all the time.
No, it's great.
Yeah,
and don't worry because Minimus will be there and he'll take me to the bookstores.
No, he's going to be doing the same crap we're doing, which is, we all want to go to the bookstore. We all want to go to the bookstore.
Okay.
And the comic shop,
yet?
though, too.
You know what I get? Can you please leave the store? Can you please stop reading everything? Let's go. We've been here long enough. How many more action figures do you need?
Mark, we have to go.
That's right.
Let's go.
Oh, so funny.
Oh,
okay.
shite.
The flights are pretty cheap. I think it's time to start planning another visit to the Clobbinator. The Clobbage, as my husband calls him. The Clobbage.
Oh, my goodness. What the hell? Stop it. Oh, there we go. I lost it. Well. It'd be fun, though. We'd have to plan everything and go hit some used bookstores. We ought to just meet in Nashville and I'll go to
I like the way that you say used when you talk about
God.
things that you love. Everyone in the chat, did you just notice the way that he said that? There is so much love in his voice when he says used. Go down to the used comic book shop.
No, comic shop. Yeah, did I?
I love it.
Didn't even notice. Sean, thank you
so much passion.
Well, used bookstores are the only good. Well, there aren't too many new bookstores anymore, are there?
No.
But
the scene is where where he's whipping his legs is so good.
The way he chews his bottom lip, like you just it's so.
Thank you, Sean Carter.
It's so good. It is so good. And HB just called you Claubonius Maximus.
Thank you. That's me. See, Steve Martin, let's face it, though. He was one of the funniest bastards alive. And then he started doing all these generic, mainstream stuff, like
rom-coms.
Yeah, was it the father of the bride stuff? Father of the Bride 15.
That was a
Whatever,
fun
and-
movie, though. That was a good
And
movie.
yeah, but for me,
It's not
his
The
best
Jerk.
films, The Jerk, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid's a weird one, but it's kind of funny. The Man with Two Brains is so weird, but
Dead
he's
Men
still
Don't
funny in
Wear
it.
Plaid is a weird one.
Well, so is The Man with Two Brains, but he's still crazy in it.
Oh,
But-
The Man with Two Brains. I haven't watched that in so long.
But Roxanne is wonderful.
Oh,
Roxanne is
great, yeah.
beautiful.
He's fantastic in Roxanne.
Mm-hmm.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
One of the all-time
Dirty
best
Well,
Rotten
movies.
he's got
Scoundrels.
John Candy in it.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
think this
oh, yeah.
vehicle is safe for highway travel? Matter of fact,
yes.
officer, yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Funnily enough, though, everything's broken, but the radio still works.
Oh, that was so great. That movie's fantastic.
I think my favorite Steve Martin movie has to be though. Boom, 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 boom.
Incontinence buttocks. Somebody's quoting Life of Brian. Oh, but see, I don't know if I don't know. I love The Jerk. There are things in The Jerk you can't even quote. It's so
No, please
quotable
don't.
that if you quote it, you'll get
I
in
was
trouble.
born a poor
No,
child.
leaving. Yeah,
Don't-
and
yeah,
that gets
no.
worse. It's worse than that in other places. But it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so
All
amazing.
of Me is good
I
too.
remember all of me. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah. Because
You
I
know,
liked Lily Tomlin back
How about
then.
The Lonely Guy? That was another weirdo one, but it was kind of funny. He was just really weird.
He does weird movies sometimes.
Well, he was weird, but his stuff when he used to go on Saturday Night Live when it was great, he would do. I remember one time he
King
did
Tut.
He did King Tut. That was great. He's my favorite honky. King Tut.
Michael
And,
Beacom, he wants to be a dentist.
That was
He has a
fantastic.
talent for causing things
Like,
pain.
I'll be your dentist. Oh, I love it. He hates these cans. Exactly, CC. But remember when he did this? He did this monologue on Saturday Night Live in the 70s. He goes, a couple years ago when we moved to this new planet and we didn't tell the stupid people. And he goes, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, shite. Oh, God. What's that? What was this old sketch? You can be a millionaire and not pay taxes. Yes, you can be a millionaire and not pay taxes. How, you might ask? First, get $1 million. Next, don't pay your taxes. And then when they come to tell you, hey, Mr. Martin, you have not paid your taxes, you just say, well, excuse me. Oh, I love that guy. And now he's just,
That is a funny moment.
that was
I've been watching.
me. We are two wild and crazy guys.
I have been watching Only Murders in the Building, and that's been pretty good. He's not
He's on
funny
that
in that one. Yep, he's with Martin Short and some younger actress from Disney films who's a big star now. Can't remember her name. But Only Murders in the Building's been pretty good. And he's a world-class banjo player, Steve
Yes.
Martin, a fantastic musician
in real
too.
life, huh?
Mhm.
Real life, yeah. No, it's a
Yeah.
real
Is he,
deal.
Raquel loves the Three Amigos, of course.
It's the cream of the crop for me.
But, yep, it was pretty funny. They were,
I
they were
mean,
again.
Just walking around the house singing Blue Shadows on the trail. Good night,
yes.
Ned. Night, Ned. Good
Classic
night, Rusty.
I keep seeing this up there. He hates these cans. With Emmett Walsh, in The Jerk, shooting at him. He goes, "Oh my God, he hates these cans because he's shooting." He pulled his name out of the phone book. David Johnson, typical ranted bastard, son of a bitch. He just wanted to kill him because they pulled him out of the phone book. The new phone book's here. The new phone book's here. Oh, that movie's hilarious. Oh, God.
That's
Steve,
right,
man.
JT Kirk. It's the cream of the crop, the tip of the top. It's Mary Poppins, and then we stop.
Oh,
So
Lord.
funny. Yeah. Well, we
They
just
don't
fell
make 'em
down
like
a
that
Steve
anymore.
Martin rabbit hole.
Yes.
Yeah, how'd that happen? That wasn't.
I don't know, but
that
it was
wasn't my
most
fault.
enjoyable.
It was fun.
Can you blame?
That's what
You
you
can't
do
blame me on
sometimes.
that one.
It's Clubhouse is what we do up
Yeah,
in Yale.
Whatever we want to do, right?
That's what we do up in Yale.
I love that open heel when
heel.
you're doing it, when you do the
Open
Cajun
heel.
accent.
You
It's
see, that's what we do up in here, Cher. We all talk like this, you know. And just wait till Saturday Night Star Trek coming up, Cher. I think we're gonna have a visit from the ground niggas is gonna be here.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, I think he said he may make an appearance.
But Andrea Martin is no longer the Moog. So
and it really hurts. Yeah.
Yeah, because I love Andrea Martin, obviously, right? I'm Canadian, and you know, they're like royalty up here, right? The whole SCTV, Second City people.
So funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, the original with John Candy and Harold Ramis and Joe Flaherty, Eugene Levy, and Andrea Martin, and some others. And Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas.
Dave Thomas, very funny man.
Not the guy from Wendy's, but yeah.
Not that
no, no, not
Rick
that
Dave.
Metric Beers fame.
Strange brew.
Yeah.
Day, got a beer?
Yeah, they were great. Rick Moranis was fantastic.
Yes, and Catherine O'Hara.
I did miss one. Sorry.
Yep.
Right, Max?
Moogie. Oh, I want to punch him in the throat when he says that. I like Rom Space Night, but when he says Moogie, I want to beat him to.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, Moogie. The hell's wrong with you?
I love
Oh man.
Yeah, how are people rating DS9 like the best Trek series ever? I mean, I just don't get it.
What I do?
Oh, Clobby, you made me cry.
What happened?
You made Raquel scarf.
I don't know what I did. What I did?
You were too funny. It was your fault. You were too
That
funny.
wasn't funny. I didn't say anything funny.
Just killing
I never say anything funny, but what'd I say? What, do you mean like Ron Space Night?
Yeah.
Oh God, I want to beat him when he says that. Don't you? Doesn't make you nuts when he does that?
Oh God, so funny. Throat punches. That's funny.
I want to.
It's very funny.
Commit violence. No. Don't hurt him. He's just a Ferengi. Yes. Well, at least it's better than that time that Picard fought those Hirogens, which didn't happen. That was the new episode of Picard. These kids find him.
Yeah, they were talking about fighting Hirogens.
And, it's a flashback to 5 years earlier, and they're asking about how, and they mentioned Janeway. So in other words, they asked them to reminisce about something that didn't even happen. That's a bad member berry right there, dummies.
Unless that was something that happened after.
Watch Star Trek.
They even asked, but they asked, how did they get in this quadrant? So in other words, it was written like some fan gobbledygook when we know Picard never met the Hirogens on his show. But it was so stupid. It's like, why don't you just make up some crap to ask them about something happened on the show? You're already throwing member berries all over the place anyway, dummies.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah, just cut to it and get it over with.
And again, the cussing continues, and the
that was so ridiculous.
it's so
crap.
stupid, but everyone loves it. What do I know? Everyone's going.
Not everyone. Not everyone.
Sometimes
I thought
feel
the
like
last 3 minutes were good tonight. I'll give it 3 good minutes of Trek so far. That's about it.
You know, it ran an hour almost.
Yeah, it was long.
An hour.
Gross.
Well, it was one week. It's like 50-something minutes. Next week it's an hour. Now it was it's yes, exactly, Larry. They're from the Delta Quadrant, but it was that last 3 minutes you're talking about just because of those stupid space babies. I mean, yeah, it was just stolen right. Again, granted, they ripped off some Trek, but that felt.
Yeah, the escape was kind of cool.
That was again the kind of thing they would do in real Trek. So they stole some stuff, but that's just to grab people's heartstrings. I'm like, the other stuff is so bad. Well, sorry for the filth talk, everybody. Accident. Oh, Rom. Are we going to get some Rom this week?
Yes, you will get plenty of it.
Mark might clip you.
D-Bud Martin will probably have to put in his earplugs. Poor D-Bud Martin.
Mark might clip you.
I might have to do it, yeah.
Oh, no. I'll make sure I'm in fine form.
Like Miles.
Well, Miles is kind of, it's more grating to me because of how cruel
I don't know.
Keiko is.
But she's not as shrill as, as what's her. I love Lita. I mean, she's beautiful. I don't care. I mean, and she's doing it heartfelt. She really loves the twerk, but it's still the way she does it. I can't even approximate it. You can, and you can try. Go for it.
Yeah.
Give it a shot if you want to. But here we go.
Oh, Rom.
Yeah, pretty much.
You just can't laugh though. You got to say it a few times so I can
You do.
clip it,
You have
yeah.
to. Oh, Rom.
But she does it a lot, especially there's a later episode where she's
I
crying.
know she does. She doesn't stop. It's bad.
And what does she see in
Michael Beacom? I don't know what she likes about Michael Beacom. It terrifies me. Not so much RMB, but Shada. I mean, I'm a big fan of Chado, and I still like the guy, but I don't understand how they're going nuts over this. Yep, he said he saw. Yeah, Beverly is. She's, and not only that, Beverly does something. Beverly does something horrible too. Lita loves to twerk.
Oh my God. I know it's a higher pitch,
Oh
Max,
no! Don't.
But
Max,
I can't help it. I've been laughing for the last hour. I will nail it on Saturday night.
Yeah, you don't
I promise.
have to. Don't feel
I'll
obligated.
practice, okay?
She yeah. Look, it's exactly what LDS nightmare. It's not Trek. There's nothing Trek about it. These people, I don't understand why they're liking this crap. They just like seeing people come back, whatever. But it's not. The writing is just as shitty and stupid as it was in the first two seasons. It's just that. And my theory on that, without going too far into the rabbit hole of filth, is this, Michael, and you have to tell me whether you agree with it or not. Some people are far less discriminate. They're getting to see. They'll be the first to tell you that it's not really like the old TV show TNG, but it looks sort of like the movies. Okay, fair enough, because the movies were dark lit, running around shooting stuff and being silly too, but still better than this crap. But still, okay. What else are they getting? They're getting to see their closure of having all these people coming back. Something, by the way, if you were going to do this, you should have done it in the first season. But that was because it was P. Hard's ego that got in the way of that. We all know. So you're also getting the first two seasons. They're unbelievably horribly bad. But not only that, let's forget about how bad they are for a second. They don't even resemble bad Star Trek because they're not even, even bad Star Trek takes place on a spaceship out in space where things are, or in some cases a space station out in space, but they're out in space doing things out there. And, in the first two seasons take place on Earth for a while, the first season on Earth for a while, then they get in some clunky old ship and go to some other planet, then some other planet, all these Blade Runner planets, and it's nothing about a starship in space. Then, second season, then they just screw around on Earth for a while, then they go back in time to modern day Earth. So again, it doesn't even resemble bad Star Trek. It's just a bad show. This season, except for the Raffi crap, it's taking place, almost all of it's taking place on a Federation starship out in space. And they're getting people back that they wanted to see come back, and they're going to be complacent in that. They're going to be fine with that. It doesn't matter how unbelievably stupid the show is. It's just as stupid as it was before. The writing sucks just as much. But they got member berries. They've got people returning that tugs at their heartstrings. And they've got something where they're running around in a starship and out in space doing stuff. And that's all that matters. I don't know if you agree with that, Michael Beacom, but that's my theory. I've only seen 4 of the episodes. People who have seen them all are all happy and all a twirl about it. Not I, not ever.
Well, there's no accounting for some people's tastes.
And that's another thing. You know what? That's the best way to say it. Taste. Somehow they're fine with that. And I'm to the point now, I'm like, okay, we're never going to win this battle of getting Star Trek back. And there'll be a lot of the reason will be because a lot of you people are willing to settle. So I'm out. I'll watch any old thing and then I'll critique it. But I'll never get my Star Trek back. And that's life. We lose things in life. What are you going to do? Sean Carter, thank you so much for that $5 super chat, buddy. I appreciate you. He says, I saw RMB complain about the omission of Kirk and just about had a Doomcock level meltdown. I asked, still feel good about praising P. Hard, and I'm sure he does. I like RMB as a person. I don't know him that well. On this, though, I can't explain anything for him, but it just goes to show you the people who are complaining about Paramount Plus running an ad with supposedly representing all of the things on the Star Trek level that they offer, both fake and new. I mean both fake and real. And they don't have Shatner on there. They don't have Kirk on there. It just goes to show you what a bunch of shitbags they are. And, you're going to give us more of it.
Well, I was going to say, leaving Kirk off, the one nice thing was we watched Trials and Tribulations. Remember, they said the greatest men in Starfleet history. So at least that episode back then, we joke inconceivable, but, Kirk is the lead actor. He's probably, well, of course, Nimoy and, the gang and D were, for the whole original crew, but those three together, but without that charisma of Captain Kirk, that's why Spock was so good, because they played off of each other. So without those two actors, but without Kirk being so good as that lead guy, and he's phenomenal in so many of those episodes too. I mean, people make fun of him, say he was a womanizer and his stutter. His delivery is fantastic. I mean, look at City on the Edge of Forever, how phenomenal that performance is, and that ending scene there, how great that acting is, and it works because he's so good in that. So maybe the sets weren't, for the time they were very expensive, but people make fun of the old Star Trek series, TOS, but so many people pick Deep Space Nine or as their number one Trek. As watching this again in order, I mean, there's some great episodes of DS9, and you love the characters, you like the actors a lot, but it really can't hold a candle, in my opinion, to
the original
TOS. I mean, it's just not even close. I mean, I'm wondering if these people have watched it in order again, or
if I wasn't
just cherry picking the best episodes.
If I wasn't doing Saturday Night Star Trek, after what I saw, what they did, what Paramount Plus did with the "This is what we offer," filth and real, I would have 100% canceled Paramount Plus. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm not just saying that. I actually mean it. If I wasn't doing the Saturday Night Star Trek where I need it, because I don't own DS9, and I don't own Voyager, I'll never buy either one of those. If I didn't need Paramount Plus to do the show, I wouldn't have it after what they did. And after that, after this crap that they did, as soon as I'm done doing the show with Clobby, I'm canceling it. What I might end up doing is just buy Enterprise and cancel Paramount Plus after what they did to Bill.
I don't blame you one bit.
Or just watch TOS on over and over, just set your TV to replay.
Well, yeah, but
TOS, so they know this is the only Trek we want to watch. But as you mentioned, I was just gonna. Oh, you go for Sean. Yep, sorry,
I just want to get. Yep. Sean, thank you so much, Sean Carter, for the $5 super chat. He says, "A new Trek doesn't deserve a fair shot anymore. It deserves apathy." Okay. I understand normal critics taking this stance, but not supposed Star Trek fans like R&B. Well, look, fans are going to do what they want. I'm not going to attack anybody. And I know you weren't attacking anybody, but I'm with you. I don't understand it either, Sean. I don't understand it, but there's nothing I can do about it. If they want what I don't understand is them all being so excited about this. And I don't understand. Good night, JT Kirk. Good to see you there,
JT
buddy.
Kirk, good night, sweetheart.
I just don't understand anybody being well disposed towards somebody like Metalis, who's treated fans like crap. Ask Jack Beers, and thinking that. But I really just don't understand how people can watch this and think, sure, it's more. It looks more like Star Trek. I mean, it acts more like Star Trek, those dumb movies, than those first two seasons do. But so what? It's still horribly written, badly acted. I mean, it's just. There's nothing good about it. But again, that's just an opinion.
I think that YouTube makes things weird too, because, some people have gotten to know some other people, and I'm not going to mention any names because I don't do that sort of thing. But I will say this, as a common tech scholar, that there comes a time where you have to admit to yourself that someone is behaving as a corporate tastemaker. And so that could be directly, so they have direct contact with the product and the people who make it, and so they're endorsing it to you. as though they are some type of ambassador. But tastemaking can also be when people begin to look at someone for their opinions about something, and that person makes a significant amount of money at it to the point where that person becomes a low-level celebrity known for their opinions. So even if it's just in a community. And so it's incredibly important that people make that distinction. And I know that creates some socially awkward situations, but it's important to be honest about that. And the thing is corporations are blurring this line on purpose. They reach out into communities, they find young girls who, apply makeup, and then pretty soon, 1 million people are following this young girl putting on the makeup. And then, this girl is, paid $200,000 or $300,000 a year to endorse the makeup. And so the thing is that it's that there comes a time where a person is known for being that tastemaker, for being that professional influencer. And I think that deserves a different level of open criticism than just a friend that who's YouTubing, or some low-level YouTuber who just wants to shoot the breeze and talk about these various corporate franchises. So it's important to recognize that distinction, as socially awkward as it is, because it is a corporate manipulation, and you should be cognizant of it. Tastemaking is a serious business, and corporations are using it to their advantage, and sort of changing even our ability to criticize critics, because if they place them all among us, then it changes the social niceties. Good night, Max. So I just wanted to say that, because it's very important that not everything is as it appears, public facing. And also, I think that when you reach a certain amount of public fame and acclaim, and you start making a certain amount of money for your opinions, I think that there's I think the public has a right to voice their opinions, and that they're no longer personal. And the law sees it that way too. If you just walk up to Joe Schmo and you say to Joe Schmo, and you say a bunch of terrible things to Joe Schmo can turn around and take you to court and say, well, he said these rotten things about me. But the law sees that once someone reaches a certain level of public influence and a certain level of celebrity, that they're held to a much higher standard when it comes to that type of criticism. So people need to realize that gray area is being exploited between being Joe Schmo and being corporate celebrity. That line is being blurred by corporations, and it's absolutely being done on purpose.
I just want to address something though with Sean, because I appreciate you, Sean. He says, I understand you remaining neutral, but not me, sir, not me. I'm not neutral. I mean, I appreciate that, but I want to address that. I'm not neutral. I'm simply saying all I said was I like the guy, and he can have any opinion that he wants to have. And whether I agree with him or not, I don't condemn anyone for having a differing opinion. I simply state, wow, I don't understand why they have. In other words, I might say, I can't believe he said that, or I can't believe he or she believes that. I can't believe they like that thing. And that's just me putting my opinion. So it's definitely not neutral at all. I'm just saying they can have their opinion. They can express it. All I'm saying is I still like you, even if I don't agree with you. Mm-hmm. And I believe, so I'm not neutral on it. I hate that trash. And like I said, if I were neutral, I wouldn't have said, I don't understand why these people are liking this stuff and talking it up. At the same time, doesn't mean I don't like them just because they're doing something I don't agree with. I don't agree with them on a show. It's just a show. I do, because I agree with him on a lot of stuff. And he's been R&B, for example, has been very nice. He came on this show once. It was very nice to come on there. He's treated our good buddy Mark C with a lot of respect when he passed, and he's nice to people. The thing about him and others, and I don't agree with him here, but he will talk to anybody.
Yep.
So I've got to respect the person. If he has a lot of opinions, I don't agree with it and stuff. But the man always talks to everyone, whether they agree with him or not. and it's a thing I fundamentally believe that I have to be the same. I'm the same way that I'll talk to anyone whether I believe them or not, or excuse me, whether I agree with them or not, or whether I believe the same things that they do or not. And I like that because he's one of those few out there who is, yes, he's in Hollywood and all that stuff, and yet he talks to a lot of people that Hollywood doesn't like very much, and he spends time with them. And so we don't agree on this here, and so I don't condemn him. I just wanted to say that I'm not neutral. I hate everything about. Since I wouldn't be here without 2009 and what was done to Star Trek by the scumball Les Moonves, Jar Jar Abrams, Jar Jar Abrams rather, Alex Klutzman, and Akiva Goldsman. Who's the other one? Michael Chabon, guys like them, guys like Lindelof, guys like Metalis, and those people. I had nothing for those people. I don't know them. But if it's someone I've had contact with and been friendly with, even if I'm not like close friends, but I've been friendly with, they'll always get the benefit of the doubt for me. And I'll pull my hair going, oh my God, how can they like that stuff? And I'll say that. It's like, oh, why do they like that crap? Same time, they're still my friend, or at least friendly with them, and I like them as a person. I never dislike a human being because they have an opinion I disagree with. I might yell about the opinion, going, "Good God, how could you like that stuff?" And that's what I'm doing because I don't know how anyone could like that show. But I'm not neutral. I'm just respectful because they have shown respect to others who disagree. And I think, and that's a fundamental characteristic of me that I've always been most proud of, is that I can be friends with anyone, whether we agree or not.
Yeah, that's true. And I totally agree with absolutely every single word that you just said. And it's not really a but, it's more like just adding to it. When
all too often
when people achieve a certain level of notoriety and they have a very large following behind them, I just think that it becomes less about a personal relationship, and they sort of open themselves up to public scrutiny. And so I think what I'm trying to very gently say and very diplomatically say is, I think that the more famous people get and the more money they make off of their opinions and the audiences that they cultivate, and they do call themselves an influencer, and that, some people use the horrible term shill media or any of these things. It's an entire industry. And I think that people need to accept that once they begin to trade in that kind of thing, that the public will feel more inclined to be harsher in their criticisms of people who have, hundreds of thousands of people following them, or someone who is making, six figures a year on YouTube giving their opinions. So I just want to very gently say that I think a lot of the people who are speaking up, and I'm not even talking about R&B, I'm just talking about YouTube in general. I think it's that a lot of them have failed to realize that their relationship with the public has changed significantly, and that members of the public are not trying to attack them personally, but rather the whole system of ideas and that level of influence. And I think it's a natural thing to happen once someone reaches a certain level of notoriety. And like I said earlier, the law sees it too. The more power you have in the media, the more people you have following you, the more money you make for your opinions, the less entitled you become to say, you can't talk that way about my friend. And so that is going to be a circumstance that we will face more and more as people come on to YouTube, and it becomes the new Facebook. It's only going to get worse, and I think in some cases it will be quite unpleasant. But it's coming, whether we like it or not.
What always drives me crazy is when people can't, like Bob was saying, you can't disagree. Like always say the joke about Star Trek V with my friends who were leaving the theater, and then by the time we drove home, couple of people started to say they didn't like, and they finally convinced us. But you know, we still stayed friends, right? And there's a lot about that movie I do love too. But you know, that's what always gets me is when people were, you know, unfriending people. Of course, we're not going to get into it, but like the Angry Joe thing today,
Yeah.
you know, not going to
Yeah.
discuss that obviously. But you know, when people start you know, fighting, I'm not commenting on that. I'm just, you know, saying in general,
Yeah.
you know, I always appreciate when people, you know, if people like this new Star Trek series, you know, God bless them. So far, I haven't been impressed. I mean, it's very Star Trekky to me, you know, to make a joke about it in terms of, yeah, maybe it's on a ship, like Clobberin Times was saying, and maybe
Yeah,
there's
it's
some
on a ship in
there's some
space.
Trekky stuff about it.
Yeah.
And I thought we did get a few good minutes, but I'm waiting for it to blow me away or say, wow, that was, you know, a really great moment, or that felt like Star Trek, or, you know, the swearing tonight, you know, won't get into it too deeply, but it just, certain things that just stood out to me. I'm like, my God, how did that end up in the script? How did that end up in the show? I mean, just so ridiculous. So, but I think we should all be able to say what we like and don't like and not attack each other personally. But we do look up to those people that have, you know, a gazillion followers. That's just the way the world works. I mean, you have a big mouthpiece, you know, if you're a politician, or for years, you know, actors, we joke about, you know, the actors that came to testify in Alar on Apples, you know, they had Meryl Streep testifying because she was in a movie about that. It's like, well, yeah, maybe she does know a little bit, you know, maybe she studied some things, but, you know, you know, maybe the expert's not getting invited to the testimony, but you as an actor, you do have that mouthpiece. And now with Twitter and social media, you know, hey, we've got this opportunity now to give our opinion, which is great. But too often people don't respect other opinions, and or they take you know, someone's opinion, you know, that has a gazillion followers maybe way too seriously. But if you really like that person, I always say, like, you know, great Roger Ebert. I love Roger Ebert, and you know, I didn't always agree with him, but most of the time he kind of had my sense of style for movies.
Mhm.
So as a critic, I'd say, well, if Ebert, you know, liked it, you know, probably I would like it. Or if he didn't, you know, but not always 100%. But
But that's because you were no longer interested in him as a person. You didn't have any intimate relationship with this
true,
person. He wasn't your buddy. You didn't hang out and drink beer. The thing
he was on
is
the show
he
a
was
half hour a week. Yeah,
he was a
at the movies. Yeah,
tastemaker, and he
yeah.
developed a certain taste that you
Shooter.
began to acquire, and you really liked it. Hey, pew
Shooter.
pew
Hey, Shooter.
pew.
Good to
So-
see you, Shooter.
Yeah,
Um,
so I just wanted to make that clear, and you know, I love Sean Carter, and I thank him for his comments, and he has said in the chat, we didn't put it up on the marquee with his other comments, but he did say that I did clarify what he was feeling, and that is his opinion, and certainly I would like to make sure that is said. You know, it's not just the audience that has to be beholden to minding their P's and Q's and worrying about people's feelings. And corporations are training you to be that way now. If you don't like a show, there's something wrong with you. If you're on social media, how dare you talk about these big famous people with all these people following them? How dare you? You scum, you this, you that, and you basket of deplorables. I would caution people not to be like that and not to give into that. And it is high time for corporations and people who do take on the position of being tastemakers, and people who do take on the positions of being social media influencers, that they also mind their P's and Q's and realize that there is a discerning audience out there who may call them on their branding, and may call them on their brand, and may call them on their influencing. And they do not mean any personal harm to that particular person who is cultivating a job, money, and fame from that taste making, from that branding. And so there needs to be a distinction there. And I think that people in the public are within their right to call it the way they see it, no matter how famous someone is. And you can't just say, well, you know, but I'm also a nice guy, or I'm also a nice gal. That's not the way it works. if it's your brand, if you're tastemaking, if you're rich, if you're famous, even if you're beyond middle class and you're making 6 figures a year doing what you're doing, that is a different thing than simply giving your opinion. Now you've branded your opinion, you're influencing, and it's a business, and so you have to be prepared for some pushback as well.
Oliver Belamonte, hey there. In case you wasn't here earlier, I'm not sure. Well, look, I mean, it's not a comfortable subject for me because it just causes too much trouble.
It does.
That far down into it. I'm simply stating that I don't go after anybody else. In other words, I might say I can't believe so and so likes this thing, for example. But it bums me out that they do, anybody that I'm a big fan of liking that, or and like their channel or whatever, or a bit on a friendly basis with them liking that thing. I'm like, oh man, but that's just me on a superficial level, not agreeing with them. We disagree all the time on all kind of stuff. They're allowed to have any opinion that they want, and I'm not condemning anyone for it, and I'm not calling them anything or accusing them of anything either.
No,
and I don't think that makes me neutral. I mean, because they know what I think about it. That just means simply that they're allowed to have their opinion, and if I take them at their word that they're giving me their honest opinion. Does that mean they are? I don't know. It just means that I'm not a mind reader, and I'm taking them at their word because they take me at my word. It's not like they're saying, well, no, maybe you're lying about your opinion. They don't do that to me.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. Never be sorry, Sean Carter. That's fine, man.
This is a very, very kind and very thoughtful message that he sent you, because he sort of feels as though he put you on the spot.
No.
And he just wants you to know that he realizes it's a very delicate subject, and and there's a big old blurring line now between.
No, don't worry about it, Sean.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, you never worried about that, man. Everything is debatable here and can be discussed here. No problem there at all, man.
And
I'm
Hungry
glad you're
Boy
here.
says, commodified opinion, my next YouTube channel, Raquel. Yeah, that's exactly it, and that notoriety, I think, changes the nature of the conversation. And it's unfortunate as society, we socially have to adapt to this new situation where we are going to be dealing with Connor Trenier on YouTube, and we are going to be dealing with Marina Sirtis on social media, and we may get a response from Bill Shatner, and they're going to cultivate their own brand, and they're going to use social media the way they want. And then there are some underlings, some grade C and grade D celebrities who are on there, and they're cultivating their brand and they're making money off of it. And so at what point do you begin to regard it as a business and not simply an opinion? And we are going to have lots of growing pains, folks, and try not to take no one should try and take this too personally, but we all have to learn, and our society is changing at breakneck speed, especially all of the manners around what we may say and what we may not say in this environment. And certainly this is thrusting us really forward. Whenever something is commodified, whenever something is monetized, whenever something is a taste-making brand, it is certainly much different than conversation. So hang tight, mind your P's and Q's, be as polite as possible, but also take no crap. And I understand everyone's frustration. It is a frustrating process, growing pains, but we will emerge on the other side of it better for it. I promise.
Zathras, hey, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Crap.
I just want the point to come across. This is what I need to make. I just need to make this point for a second. I don't have a problem with opposing views. I think everyone should just agree with me and make things easier. Life would be so much easier if you would all just agree with me. But if you're not going to go ahead and do that, then I guess I'll let you live. Maybe. Well, except for Mark, he has to agree or he has no choice.
It's in his contract.
No, but
That's
look,
my contract. Yeah.
I don't want it to sound like I'm mad at these people for having views or and liking something that I hate. But I can't lie to you. I have a bit of an emotional reaction when I go watch them and I see them saying these things about something that I just watched the same thing that they did. I don't know. I mean, I don't. So I'm going to be highly critical of their opinions, but I want them to always be clear. I'm criticizing the opinion and I'm taking them at face value. I know a lot of you don't, and that's fine. I don't know these people personally. Okay. Like I know, for example, I know of them. I've had limited interaction with some of them and some no interaction with others. So what limited interaction, the ones I've had limited interaction with, I like them. I've been a fan of their channel. I don't always agree with them. And so if they, even though I don't understand how they're liking this and supporting this stuff, hey, that doesn't mean they're lying. They might be. I don't think so. I think they're giving their opinion. Whether they are or not, I'm not a mind reader, okay? So I'm doing them the courtesy. A courtesy that they've done to me. They've all of these people we're talking about have been polite and kind to me personally. So I'm doing them the same courtesy right back as just accepting that they're telling the truth, that they like it, and then letting my mind be boggled by the fact they like it. And yes, I joke about it here and there about, I can't believe I like that crap. But I want to be clear that there's no animosity coming me from, even though it's frustration. I can't believe anyone liking this thing. But hey, they might think a lot of my opinions are stupid too, and that's fine. That's all good. I don't care. We don't always agree on things. But some of them, the only one that, the biggest name out that I'm friends with is Doomcock. He is my friend, and he's held fast on it. But he and I might not agree on everything either. But he's actually a true friend of mine that I'm very friends with. The other ones I just know a little bit here and there, and I like them all. And I'm not going to stop liking somebody because they take a position I don't agree. I agree with. I'm not going to say, well, I don't like them anymore because they like this. I mean, I'm just going to go. I'm going to remember it sometimes. Like I'll use R&B as an example. I mean, he did a great movie I love called Free Enterprise. He's also was very kind to my good friend Mark C. Was friendly with him, and when he passed, he gave up. I mean, he was really, really very kind about it to his family because Mark C. did not agree with him on much of anything, and yet they were very friendly. And to his credit, R&B will talk to anybody whether you agree with him or not. Now, if you're mean to him, I guess he's going to fight back. But he's always nice to people, and whether they agree or not. And that's something that's important to me. And other people who are taking a position that they like this thing, that I'm a fan of all their channels, it makes me want to pull my hair out. But they like it. What am I supposed to do? I can't be
pull your hair out.
Well, there's too much of it. I can't be a baby and get really mad at him. I'm just like, but when I see him talking about how good it was, God, I'm like, oh God, guys, what are you watching? I don't know what we're watching. But
we're not watching the same thing.
We're not watching the same thing. I don't know how to get it.
It's not possible.
It just doesn't seem like it. I mean, maybe they've been assimilated, but I joke. They can like whatever they want to like, because every one of these guys I'm talking about have said the same thing to other people. When someone disagrees with them, they said, wait, they can disagree and like whatever I've heard their philosophy is always people can like what they're going to like and dislike what they're going to dislike. And they have not, gone after anybody for disagreeing with them. Now they have differences. Yes. But I don't know. It's what I've always believed is that we can be friendly, even if we don't agree on things, and we can even be contentious and maybe get a lot of out of sorts with each other on some things, but then always go back to trying to be friends and trying to get, we're all want a lot of the same things. I'm just saying right now it's a tough time for me because I don't understand how anybody can like this thing. I just don't understand. But many of you right here who are friends with me like it, and that's fine. Although you probably don't know that I know where you live and I'm come sneaking into your window right now and doing things to your house. Just kidding.
Eggs are too expensive these days to throw at houses.
Yes. They don't have any. Yeah, eggs cost too much. So I want everybody to be able to get along whether we disagree or agree. And sometimes it's tougher than others. I guess that's what I'm trying to say to you. Sometimes it's tougher. But if at the end of the day, to use a cliche, if you're just nice and decent to others, whether you agree or not, calling people names because they say things that you don't like, Feels good, by the way, because God, I'm going to do it sometime so bad. I got to admit it.
Yeah.
I'm not above it, but if I do it, I want to do it with humor, and say, because what am I? That there's some of these people, they've liked a lot of stuff that I think is total crap, and there's because I'm just an a-hole who dislikes every damn thing. So, I mean, this happened with the Snyder Butt. Some people who I really love, YouTubers that I really love, like that thing, and I'm like, God, man, how can you like that crap? Including my buddy DC. I love Doomcock. He liked the thing, and I never got a chance to talk with him one-on-one about it, but I'm sending messages, teasing him about it and stuff. He doesn't care. Why should he? Like what you want to like, baby, and dislike what you want to like. And sometimes I'm going to be a big baby about it and go, God, I really like that thing. But I'll live. I promise you. Yeah, God damn it, Mark. But I'll live. So what I'm saying is I'll get through it. I don't like it. And this happened last year with Strangled in Worms. I couldn't stand how many people just went over to like that crap. I don't get it. I watched it mainly because of them. I'm like, I'm going to have to go to war on this thing. I'm going to have to inform myself. And I don't understand how anyone can love Trek and like that damn thing. And the same thing with PR Season 3. But hey, I'm not going to stop anybody from liking it. I'm just going to, and that's why I'm saying I'm not neutral, because I'm going to definitely put the opinion out there. I'm not going to do review shows on it or anything. I'm not going to, other than tweeting nasty stuff about it, which I kind of like to do. I'm not going to say tonight on Clobbering Times, we're going to talk 3 hours about what a piece of crap the new episode of Picard was. I'm not going to do that. But when we have a little off time, we're just doing Clubhouse. I'm going to make my cracks here and there. Let's put it like that. And it makes me feel better a little bit, just that at least a few people don't like it. Because there are times I'm like, man, everybody's going nuts on this thing. Good Lord. I'm glad. I'm glad to have Raquel, because she won't watch it anyway. But I know other friends who are watching it saying it's crap. But then I see all these other people saying, I believe it's pretty good. I'm like, oh. And you know what? I'm being a child, but I go, oh, God. It's like you stuck a needle in me or something. But you didn't. You just liked something that I think is filth. But we're not getting real Trek back anyway. So go love PR if you want to. And I might tease you about it, but I promise you I love you anyway, and you're my friend anyway. The only one in fact, I'm going to decree right now, the only one who I'm going to force to agree with me on everything is Donnie Pearson. Everybody else is allowed to disagree with me. Just kidding, Donnie. You know I love you, buddy. So everything's good. I had to get that off of my chest because it does. I have been a little put out of sorts by all this, and I shouldn't let a TV show get to me like that.
It's just a TV show. It's just a TV show.
Like Shatner said, it's just a TV show. Damn it. It's just a TV show. Yeah. And Zafra says it's crap anyway because it's not as good as Babylon 5, right?
This is true.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but do you know anybody on this planet that you agree with 100% on anything?
Me.
Anybody besides you?
Myself. Myself and I.
I don't even agree with myself half the time.
Sometimes you change your mind, right?
Yeah.
God, I should have bought that action figure in the store the other day. No.
See? That's what I'm saying.
Stupid dummy, right? Yeah, come on.
In fact, I wouldn't agree with me. None of you should agree with me on anything, probably. Matter of fact, I'm going to decree right now, as it stands, as this is a Clobby edict coming down. Hey, Zacharot, good to see you. None of you are allowed to agree with me on anything anymore. In fact, I want you to start disagreeing with me on everything. Do you agree with that? Oh, man. Well, I tried.
Sean does say something. Yeah, it does represent more than a TV show. That's true. But yeah, you also have to.
Oh, it's more than a TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
We're quoting Shatner as a joke.
Yeah, but there's a certain truth to it. But yeah, as I'm surrounded by Star Trek items in this room, yeah, it's more than a TV show to me. But the point is, yeah,
Shatner joke.
Yeah, yeah. But no, there is, you do have to, have, that famous line, have a life too. But in terms of not taking things too seriously, I mean, I love Star Trek, the original series, and no one's ever going to take that away from me, no matter what comes, after. And, that's never going to change. So, and if people like this new stuff, it's, maybe I might be surprised that they like it, but I haven't seen all the up. I've only seen 4 so far, but so far I haven't been impressed. But And it's actually kind of fun to debate with people if you have a nice rational debate about what they like about a show or don't like, versus a shouting match or slinging mud. That's always, it's actually a lot more fun to talk to people sometimes that you disagree with, because then you can, if you have an open mind, you can say, all right, well, you do have a point, or clobbering times ruin the ending of certain films Watchmen for me.
I don't even remember how I did that now.
Yeah, they explained the ending, but yeah, because I did kind of like the non-squid ending, but it's
dare you.
People take things. What I think that it's just a TV show line means to me meant don't take things so personal, right? It's that's something you love, but you do have to branch out in life. You do have to quote unquote leave your parents' basement and kiss a girl and get married and have a life. You can't just have Star Trek be your life, but that doesn't mean it can't be super important in your life. And that's the way I always took it. I was never offended by Shatner saying that. And plus, he was on back when SNL was a good show. Yeah.
If you can't take a joke, then you got problems. I'm going to address some of the things that I started here. Shooter, because people make good. But this is an interesting point that we should be addressed. He says that Star Wars Girl and Echo Base Network both say season 3 of P Hard is good. Do I unsubscribe or do I take it as they are Star Wars fans and not true Trekkie? I don't think you do either of those things unless if you stay subscribed if you like their channels and you accept that people have different opinions. And I know that Star Wars, I don't know her personally, but I know she's a big Trek fan. Yes, she's called That Star Wars Girl, but she loves real Trek. She's watched it a lot on her show. She's reviewed episodes. She's gotten a bunch of those comic artists she's friends with who've never, if they tell her they never watched Star Trek, she makes them watch real Trek. She made Drunk 3PO watch the original series. I think he'd never seen it. So, I mean, she's a true blue. She loves Star Trek. And I just think, and I don't know, I think EBN...
You changed your name to That Star Trek Girl.
Yes, for Shatner for a while. Shatner, right. And I think the EBN guys have admitted they hadn't watched much Trek, but, no, look, let people like what they want to like. And, but I know you're asking rhetorically, but I think you just let people have their opinions, right? I mean,
yep.
And, Steven,
I would strongly caution anyone to, if someone says to you, it's just a TV show, and that person is trying to influence your opinion, and that person makes more than 6 figures by being affiliated to that TV show, and you don't make any money on your opinion, and you don't make any money off of that TV show, I think that you really have to look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, why is this person who makes their life and their trade by this show and makes hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars off this show, why is this person telling me it's just a TV show? Because if you are just a viewer, it is just a TV show for you. But for them, it is anything but just a TV show. So be careful of the rhetoric of people trying to shame you when the shame actually belongs to them.
Right. In this case, it was just Mark making that joke about Shatner and referring to Shatner.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying, we see this a lot where people are like, it's just a TV show, man.
Yeah.
It is just a TV show for us because we don't make any money off of it. We just watch it. Either we enjoy it or we don't enjoy it. But having to interact with people who make hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars off of the show, only to be told that our opinions are wrong, we should be careful how we word it, and that it's just a TV show, is the height of absurdity. It would be like finger painting in your own feces. This person's life depends on this show. So it's very obvious they're trying to demean your position, though you cannot influence the show one iota. So it's just empty talk that is an insult. It means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They can't take that away from you.
No.
It
was Yeah, no. It was. I think you were just making that joke about Shatner. So, you should know. I never got the impression that you were mad at these people or these channels. Just that you're a fan for not liking New Trek. I'm just disappointed in them. But they shouldn't give a crap what I think. I don't even give a crap what I think anymore. When I try to get to sleep a few minutes, I'm watching PR season 3. Says Zapdos. That's the man right there. Lisa said, I like R&B. Agree with a lot of his takes. I don't agree with a lot of his takes. Well, yeah, I like him and don't agree with him all the time either. Donnie Pearson says, I love R&B. Lisa, he's more than a Trekkie, but a Super Sentai fan as well. And he knows his Star Trek. You can't argue that. I mean, he knows Star Trek big time. If you doubt it, watch. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he can't. No one doubts his knowledge. He knows movies and all that kind of stuff. So, that's the way it is. Shooter says.
Well, that's why he trashed STD so eloquently. So many times. Yeah,
he's hated all of the filth until now. True, like what you want to disagree and debate, but don't hate what you don't. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, absolutely.
Just one quick question before we move on. Did he actually have lunch with the people from STD?
Have what now?
Did he ever have lunch with the people from STD?
No.
Paramount. Does he have lunch with the people from Picard?
No. I mean, other than going out and hanging out with he and a bunch of guys have met with Metalis and stuff like that. But yeah,
interesting.
Later though, not before he got to see it or whatever. Not before he started praising it. Put it like that. Okay. Lisa said, R&B endeared himself to me over since the past outstream. I will always be his fan. Oh, the pass outstream. Yeah, I don't agree with his opinion. Yeah, when he passed out. Yeah, I think I've heard of that one.
He passed out?
I think he passed out on the stream once. I think it's Sean said
the wine stream or maybe.
Yeah, yeah. He used to do those late night streams where he would get drunk.
Yeah.
I think he did
Midnight Metal.
Midnight Metal. I told to get what Clubby is saying. I guess I just don't trust him. Normies don't have anything to gain by liking New Trek, but he does. Look, that's your call, man. I hear you. Like I say, I neither trust nor distrust if I don't know someone that well. If I don't know someone really well, I can neither trust nor distrust them. But just they say something and I don't let it affect my life one way or the other. Now, if I'm watching their channel and they say, "Hey, go watch this movie or that movie," I will look at their past opinions and and say, "You liked Eternals, dude. He liked Captain Marvel." So I'm like, I think I won't be taking your opinions. But if he said, usually when it came to Star Trek, until now, I had some trust for his opinions. I'll say that. But you know what? Hey, he's seen all 10. I've seen 4. I don't like them. I'm not the episodes, but
they're 10 or 8.
10. They're 10. Michael Beacom said, let's see. Sorry. Actually, Shatner took that back. Read his latest book. He realized that, in truth, he gave it his all as Kirk and is proud. So now, if you say "get a life," he responds "F you." Yeah, I mean, but it was a funny sketch. I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't when it came out, I wasn't offended by it. I laughed because you got to laugh at yourself too. That's one of the key things in life. You laugh at yourself. Was it brutal? Yeah, comedy's brutal. Comedy's cruel. When you get right down to it, there's always a victim in comedy. Otherwise, it's not comedy. So I don't care that he insulted those fans. He should have probably, but it didn't do him any good in the long run either, though. But hey, it was Saturday Night Live. What do you do? It was a funny sketch, I thought. Was it nice? No. A lot of funny ain't nice, folks. Sorry. That's why comedy's in trouble right now. People get offended.
There's no edge to it.
If you can't take the pounding, sorry. I mean, it's just life. That's life, maybe. So what do you?
And comedy always works when there's a little grain of truth to it too, right? It doesn't work unless it's got
there's a grain. I had a grain there, but I know Nicole. I know for one thing that our first officers probably needs to get some food and some sleep and stuff.
Some hamburglers.
You want some hamburgers?
Well, we did pretty good. I mean, we did pretty well here. It's only 27 minutes past the hour.
No, yeah, but I just figured if you had to be starting to get tired.
Yep. Well, no, it's not that. It's that it's a school night.
It's a school night, yeah.
It is. It's a school night.
I never went to school myself, so. Let's say Clubby knows me well enough to mock me for liking Man-Thing. Well, better than Electra. Well, better. I mean, do you actually like that movie? Because if you are, I may have to fire you. I've decided to become a ruthless dictator when it comes to opinions. The opiniontator, in fact. I am the great opiniontator. You will agree with me or I shall destroy you. Kneel before Zod and agree with me. Or else. Zod! So, yeah, look. I don't know. This helped me a little bit because I was probably overreacting to how aggravated I am with these. I've got to face it. 6 more episodes, and it's only going to get worse from here where people are going to go, oh, that was pretty good. Okay.
And I won't be watching any of it because it's filth.
It is
and
filth.
Because Poopy Stew admitted to Vulture magazine, did a full interview with him, and admitted that the only way that he would come back and do Star Trek is if it was just like Marvel, and that all of the scripts were like Logan. And
he got his
we
wish.
later learned that it was also the fact that he wanted the show entirely focused on Poopy Stew and no one else, and that's why none of the rest of the crew showed up. And then we also have Jonathan Fakey Pants admitting through multiple interviews that none of this would have happened without Gene Roddenberry if Gene Roddenberry were alive. So it's very important for people to know while they're gazing at their navels that if you want to write a story and you want to be famous for it and you want to argue and fight about it and just, be social media influencers and just do your little thing, write your own stories. But my issue is that if you know that the person who made this thing would not want you to do that, and yet you do it anyway, or you know the person that made this, you never liked him to begin with, and you've always wanted to ruin the show and turn it into Marvel Logan, and those are Poopy Stew's own words, and you've been arguing and fighting with him about it, all the way up until from 1987 to all the way up to when he died. And now all of a sudden you're making money off of it. For me, that's way more than a TV show. And it's way more than an opinion about, I like it. It's good. It's just so good. I love it. No, I think that is a bunch of... And I won't be watching this crap, and I don't fall for all of these mental, emotional, and social gymnastics. I think it's all crap, and it's just people making money off of a dead man's story, and making money off of his name, and blaspheming his ideas, his creativity, his product. And none of these people would even have shows, because if they tried to write something themselves and they didn't put Star Trek on it, no one would watch it.
Well, look what happened when Patrick Stewart pretty much had his way for season 1 and 2 of Picard. That's what he wanted, right? And season 2 was gross self-insert, and look what happened. So look how bad that season was.
That's the one good thing. Here you go. You're here to hear first, folks. I'm going to tell you one good thing about season 3 of Be Hard After All. I'll come up with a good thing. See, I'm that good. If you think about it, it's almost a rebuke of Poopy Stew, because Poopy Stew, if they'd had any sense, they should have known that a show with everybody coming back would have been what more fans wanted to see than just one guy. But his ego took over. So what happened? 2 seasons in, hell, a season and a half in, because halfway through the 3rd season, they already started putting these ads out like, don't worry, everybody. We know it really sucks, but we're going to bring everybody back next year. So in other words, he did not get to keep the show. He ended up having to share the show with everybody else because he was shown that nobody likes his stupid-ass, ego-driven show. And that fans weren't just, in other words, he must have thought fans would just love anything if he's in it and they don't care about everybody else.
That's exactly what he thought.
And he got shown that it was wrong because fans wanted everybody. They didn't want him to have a little ego show. They watched his first 2 seasons and they're like, I'm out. I mean, this is terrible because you've ruined your character. We want everybody else. And he had to take it. He agreed to do 3 seasons. And I'm sure he did not want to have to share with any of those people.
Oh,
as
no.
far as like the whole season.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah,
People need to go and read that Vulture article where he very, very proudly says, there's no way I would have ever have done this unless they allowed me to turn it into Logan. I wasn't interested in returning to Star Trek or doing Star Trek. I wanted to do something that was like Logan. And once they agreed that I could do the Logan show starring Poopy Stew, I agreed to do it. And that's exactly what he says. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but it's almost verbatim. You got to go read that Vulture article. It's absolutely disgusting because the guy openly admits, he never liked Star Trek. That's the only thing he's famous for, and that he set out to ruin it, to make it what he's been bugging Gene Roddenberry to do since '87. And Gene fought with him and said, no, Gene didn't even want him on the show. And so here he is getting his revenge and using Gene Roddenberry's name to make money. If he was such a big shot, why doesn't he write his own show, do his own show, and see if people will watch it? No one will watch it.
Absolutely. And now he's been forced to bring everybody back, and he probably didn't like it. So he's going to be, that's why he'll never do another one, probably. He probably didn't like to have to share the limelight with everybody else. And he didn't give a toss about what the fans wanted, obviously. But fans wanted everybody to come back. And fans have been so abused. Fans are so abused. Now it's clear they'll just take anything. As long as they're all coming back for one little, nothing of an adventure, that's all they want. And they don't even care if it's just, all they want is to be like the movies, I guess. And they'll take it, and for some damn reason. And it's going to be 10 hours. Boy, they really are stretching that sucker out, too. Here you are, it's 4 hours in, and it's out of 10, right? You've got Poopy, you've got Riker, you've got, you only saw Troy for a couple little clips.
There was no Raffi this week. That's maybe why I thought the episode was better.
That's right. You got the Doctor and you've got Worf. So you got them in pieces here and there, but you don't have a full crew back. It'll probably be like for the last few episodes that they're all together jerking around.
Because Geordie's going to be back on the show.
I guess the one last thing that they have to do to put them all on camera at the same time, it will be the straw that breaks the camel's back of Poopy Stew's eternal, disgusting, bloated, fetid ego. So much barf. There's just so much barf. I think we're going to have to scrub the Claboni off when all of this is done. We're going to have to take it to the car wash like 100 times. I mean, it's just the whole scenario of trying to manipulate people into watching this and getting influencers and people in the community to say, oh, I like it so good. All of this crap. I can't wait until it's over. And what a pathetic person to go after a dead man's story and use it and then do all of this. How pathetic. Pathetic.
Absolutely.
Pathetic.
Michael Bingham's so right, too. He said he will never do another one because he looks like he's 115 years old. Compare him to Shatner. Positive energy versus negative. Yeah, because Shatner's older and he looks way young. He looks younger than... At this point, he looks younger than.
Yeah, he aged a lot in the last few years.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's just a worthless, slimy old fool. And now they're. By the way, if you notice, they went back on their timeline crap. Now they're acting like it's only been like 20 years since he was on Enterprise D, and then the E later. When the first season
wasn't it like 40 years?
Swore they acted like it was 40 or something.
Yes, it was 40 initially, but I'm not going to hold those writers to anything. Yeah.
Well, they're acting like his son is 24 now or whatever. It's like, okay. And by the way, Jack Crusher's boring. Sorry, you're not going to make him interesting. He sucks. Not the actor's fault. It's just no. And Shaw, that idiot, the captain of the, like you said, why can't they?
Everyone's loving him.
Why? I don't know why they love him. He's a moron. And why can't they? Like you said, why can't they fix a leg in the 25th century? Like lickety split now. They have the technology.
Well, they have in Star Trek before, haven't they? Haven't they?
Yes.
Like, don't they have the bone knitter? Didn't they talk about having a bone knitter and just? And they said just be careful. Just take it easy for a few days.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Wasn't that from
yes.
TNG with Worf, or maybe it was another character?
Yep. And then we see this again when we see the collarbone being broken, O'Brien's collarbone being broken, the weird BDSM escapades of Jadzia Dax and Worf. We see it when Bev has her leg crushed when she falls into the cavern.
Yeah, and she should have had a
Yes.
No one put her in a body cast. She wasn't in a body cast in rehab for 4 years. They used an implement and restored her body, and her leg was like shattered. It was moosh. So I don't know.
But she should have had a hover disc in that like they had in TMP.
Right.
They should have had a hover disc, but yeah, he's walking around too, so he could have taken the command. I could see where he gave up command to Riker just for the half hour that he needed to be in sickbay. But then wouldn't he come back and take command again? I mean, he just got a cane. That's all. I mean, Starfleet captain, you only have to give orders. You don't have to physically do things. I mean,
look
well, then he did go on the Jeffrey tube.
Look at what Dave G's sound just said.
What?
Look at this. Look in the chat.
If they have to fix your bone now, you have to become an android.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Anyway, people, stay fast and hold to your opinions and don't be swayed. Don't get into this social media soup where everybody's slinging, arrows at one another and everybody's slinging mud and poop at each other. Don't fall for that stuff. The bottom line is what Poopy Stew said to Vulture magazine. The bottom line is what Jonathan Fakey Pants said to in multiple interviews about how Gene would not approve of any of this crap. And then I want you to walk away and say to yourself, if Gene would not approve, and if they didn't like this, and they hated the show, and they wanted to make it like Marvel Comics, and they wanted to make it like Logan, why are they using Gene Roddenberry's name? And I'll tell you why. Because these people have never done anything in their life of significance other than Star Trek. Star Trek is where they made their money. It is their bread and butter. And they are using Gene Roddenberry, and the whole time saying awful things to him, destroying his franchise, insulting his fans, pandering to crazy normies and a bunch of weirdos on the internet who are trying to convince you to watch this crap. Stay fast. Remember what Gene Roddenberry did, what he said. Remember what Poopy Stew did and what he said. Remember what Jonathan Fakey Pants did and what he said. Not what any of this, what all these people are curating for you on social media. Just remember the truth and hold to the truth.
Michael Wickham says, I will not be becarded. SNW into darkness. Abrams discovered or customized. My Trek is my own. Love
he just won the internet. I need to keep that.
Yes,
that needs to go up on social media.
Stealing that if you don't
I
mind.
love it, man. That's fantastic.
I will quote you, Michael Beacom. I will give you credit. Of course, I don't believe in plagiarism. That's great,
buddy.
I will not be Picarded, SNW'd, into darkness, Abramized, Discoverized, or Kurtzmanized. My Trek is my own.
My Trek is my own. Yes, indeed. Of course, we all know it's based on I will not be pushed, stamped, filed, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own. Is it? Yes, you won't hold me. Well, let me prove that we will. Oh, sorry. I keep the scene going too long. I love The Prisoner. All right, well, let's get out of here, folks. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Appreciate you. You've been fantastic, but we have kept number one way past our bedtime as always.
Yeah. So
let's what I will do is quick show notes tomorrow night. Is it tomorrow night? Yeah, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Nick Weiser's show. My buddy Nick Weiser, the Friday Night Comic Shop Gang, gets together for part 2 of our review of Dave Stevens' The Rocketeer comic. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, as always, Saturday Night Star Trek. 4 more thrilling episodes of these of the days of our station. Star Trek. Sorry, not trying to be biased. And then Sunday night, Mark's got the geekery going on. What else is going on, by the way, besides that?
You big
Oh, I just got
geek.
a notice on YouTube. I hit 5,000 watch hours, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yay!
Which
Congratulations.
is nice. So thank you for everyone who's watched my channel.
Nice.
Gotta get. I gotta do a couple of review. I gotta do a shorter review of that McKay's bookstore. That's on my list of things to do tomorrow. Just so.
Well, now you're just bragging.
No, I'm just bragging, but I had to fly, so I couldn't bring that much
I
stuff
love
back.
it.
So,
I love it. More, more, more. Give us more. Give us more.
but no, what else is coming up? And of course, Toxic Tuesday is going to be the third John Wick. I shouldn't say the final one because there's a new one coming out, so that'll be on Tuesday, and the Sunday night geekery. So we'll be competing against the Oscars, I guess, but hopefully he'll hang out with us.
Isn't John
might be
Wick
all right.
that
on that
Keanu Reeves guy?
Yes.
Keanu Reeves?
Is he like 60?
He's in
yeah.
his mid 50s, but he's in great, fantastic shape, and he
That's
he's
wonderful.
puts us all
But
into
still,
that
I mean,
character.
why do they keep doing this? I mean,
'Cause
I
they make
just I
money.
hear the theme from the Golden
Yeah.
Girls play. You know, thank you for being.
Nah, he's a
Like, what's
badass.
going on here?
He's
Anyway.
a man's man.
Yeah, he likes
no.
motorcycles too. So
The only person who's allowed to like be an action hero after like let's say 60, I don't know who Clint Eastwood. That's it for me.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood or Sean Connery.
Yeah, Keanu's pretty good at it too. At least he's a good.
yeah, it's a good guy.
Well,
Monday, everybody. Monday night, Mark C Comics Talk double feature at 6 p.m. Central at a special time. The great J-Man joins me for a trip back to Earth B for another review of a Bob Haney classic, Brave and Bold number 120, a Zany Haney production. Can't wait to go back to Earth B with my good buddy J-Man for that fun classic CLOBBY'S classic comics review. And at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just a basic hangout. We'll talk a little bit about it's been 2 years since we lost our dear departed Mark C. We'll talk a little bit about
Stark of Iron's here.
Hey, Stark of Iron, what's up, buddy?
Hey, sweetie.
So good to see you. I'll shout out our wrenches, then we'll get out of here.
Mhm.
The great Eric K, thank you so much, buddy. And hey to the puppy. The great Chris Persia, thank you so much. D. Bud Martin, Lord Thoth and Lady Thoth, Ava lives long with the Legion, and their puppy. And of course, my partner crime on Earth B, the J-Man, Wrench Without Fear, Hungry Boy, Master of the Claboni, Super Wrench Kal-El, Meownias, Wrench Meownias, Wielder, Maddie's Daddy, and the great Phantom Outsider, and hate to the Pupper Dog, too, who was here earlier.
Sammy! You're very welcome, Sean Carter. Thank you so much for a wonderful and inspired, a lively conversation.
Yes, indeed, Sean Carter, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You did quite well coming up with some good, chat for us there. Some good topic for us there. And I want to thank you all, everybody. So many of you here tonight. We won't keep you here for an hour saying goodbyes because it takes forever to list everybody. But we said hello to everyone when they came in. Well, we said hello to everybody when they came in. It takes forever to run down the whole list.
We'll see you on Saturday.
We'll do it on Saturday, of course, back to forward there. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. We appreciate you so much. Don't forget, you got this picture too, coming in April.
It's true.
The book launch.
Oh, yeah.
Science Fiction Tales. Say it.
Science Fiction Tales will be having a book launch at the Northern Alberta Jubilee Auditorium in the Jube. Soiree, signing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have a presentation on HB. I did an entire video dedicated to him. And there's going to be some other really fun stuff. We're going to have a couple of actors reading a couple of stories, and there are going to be cocktails and lots of discussion, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So it's by invitation only. And I will let you all know how it turns out. I'm very excited.
Yes, indeed. Can't wait. Thank you so much. I want to say again, big thank you to my wonderful first officer, the most wonderful, lovely first officer in the fleet. Thank you. And did you have any last words before we get out of here?
If you're one of my Patreon people, would you please go in and check in on the Patreon at this soiree, at this book launch? There is going to be a show program, so it's not going to go out onto the internet. It's only going to be here in Alberta on site, and I need to know if I should call you by your internet handle in my thank yous in this program, or if you would like me to use your real name. So please hop on over to Patreon, update yourself with what's going on Patreon. I have some things up there, some new stuff that I need you to have a look-see at, and so we can discuss it, and I'm representing you in the way in which you desire. And speaking of all my Patreons, I love you so much. Thank you so much for making my writing possible. You are the best. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to the wrenches. Thank you, Mark D with the C. You're such a good friend. I adore you. And Clobby, I love you with all my heart. Let's get the hell out of Dodge.
Love you. All right. You
Get those nerds! 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 What? I just love clobbering time.